accelerate. It's more of a... if you get me.
Right. Customers can be hard work. Switching your bank account won't be. We'll automatically move your regular payments over when you switch with the current account switch service.
Get 3 months half price when you switch to an unlimited SIM with 3. That means quick streaming, faster downloads, and more money to spend on the things you love. Join the UK's fastest 5G network and get your unlimited SIM today. Buy now in store or c3.co.uk.
Unlimited 24-month light plan. Proof of switching required. Based on Ookla speed test intelligence data 2H 2025. All rights reserved. Subject to credit checks and terms.
Steve's storage just isn't keeping up. He's running out of room fast. He needs something smarter and flexible enough to grow with his business. Choose the Big Doug Big Series range. Designed for strength, flexibility and ready to reconfigure or expand as your business grows. From shelving and workbenches to trolleys, garment rails and racking, the Big Series can handle it all. So what are you waiting for? Time to sort your shelf out. Order today at bigdoug.co.uk.
The all-new, all-electric Toyota CHR Plus. Sleek, stylish and quietly reliable. Available with 0% APR representative with £1,500 deposit contribution and save £1,500 with the electric car grant. Get that Toyota electric feeling. Visit your nearest Toyota centre. Price from 34495. Available on Toyota PCP when financed through Toyota Financial Services by 30th of June 2026. Optional final payment. Indemnities may be required. See website T's and C's apply.
We all love a good meal, but there's no feeling quite like cooking one. Whether it's everyone at yours for a Sunday roast or after-school sausage and mash. Quick, simple, gone in minutes. One thing brings it all together. Ah, Bisto. The original gravy. Rich, smooth, and unmistakable since 1908. When the gravy makes the dish, make the gravy. Ah, Bisto.
Every emotion and total devotion.
Let's game on. This is TalkSport 2.
Hey, boyo, it's a flashy Friday night of tidy championship football on TalkSport 2. Wrexham face Swansea City, how about it? Floodlights on from 7. With Yagida, full life comes from 8.
Absolutely sensational.
Fixing you up with a first-rate Friday night of championship football on TalkSport 2. Isn't it?
On DAB+, online, via the TalkSport app, and on your smart speaker. They're on the starters' orders, and they're off.
Cheltenham 2026, live on TalkSport 2.
Briggs with wonder jump between himself and Cheltenham Festival glory, and Briggs is over in the hands of Richard Harding. Briggs is very tired. He's tired halfway up the run-in. He's emptying fast. They're coming at him. Fazel and Gallonwy. Briggs is tying up, falling in a hole as they hit the line. It's tight. Fazel on the far side. Briggs on the near side. Gallonwy by your heart.
He just made it. Briggs just getting home in the footwoman Kim Muir of 2010. It was amazingly a long time ago. Of course, a Grand National winner he was too. Let's talk to Emmett and Tony now. Before we come on to our final race, I imagine that you've both seen pictures of the lads gone out to Benidorm and rather smugly sitting in the sun all week, and I can't blame them on their sunbeds, and they're having a beer, watching the racing from Cheltenham on the big screen, while very often we're shivering in the rain back home. But there were some pictures on social media yesterday. It's been raining in Benidorm, and quite a lot of soggy punters around. In fact, probably not even going outside to watch the racing, maybe watching it inside from their bedrooms on the TV there. So what do you make of that, Emmett? Proof that it does rain in other countries as well. Would you go to Benidorm to watch the racing from Cheltenham? Now you know it rains there.
No. Cheltenham have managed to turn this around, because this time last year the atmosphere and the attitude was, oh dearie me, it's small field, it's all very predictable, the crowds are down, can't get a pint, the pints are too expensive, the whole thing. Like there was a real negative atmosphere, and there's still things that need to be worked on, don't get me wrong, there's plenty that needs to be worked on, but the crowds are up, the racing's been magnificent, It's deeply competitive racing. We've seen some proper performances. The jockeyship has been sublime. The starts have been farcical, and the ground situation today is a farce. And there's other things as well that have been going on that need to be looked at. People have said stuff that they shouldn't have said in more ways than one. There's all kinds of stuff going on with that. But overall, it's been brilliant. And I don't know, maybe it makes me sound very bitter, but if you're gone out to Benidorm and it's lashing rain, I don't feel very sorry for you.
By an umbrella.
Yeah.
What do you think, Tony? You wouldn't go to Benidorm to watch the racing from Cheltenham, would you?
I've never ever been to Benidorm, to be honest with you.
Tony.
And I certainly wouldn't go in the week at Cheltenham as well. But even though I know there's a few lads in the last 6 or 7 years, because of the situations at Cheltenham and what have you, and trying to find some accommodation, they've gone out there for the last 6 or 7 years and know quite a few of them. And well, 2 of them in particular, I wouldn't try and keep up on the drinking side of things with them, so I probably wouldn't make Gold Cup Day in Benidorm.
Yeah, I was going to
all
say.
Day in bed.
Yes, indeed.
I mean, it's not a banker, is it? Guaranteed sunshine anywhere. So, compared to Cheltenham itself, it's obviously it may be better weather, but I mean, the reporting today between 14 and 19 degrees, which is, but...
well, it's not midsummer, is it? Not even in Benidorm.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. But, I mean, the festival crack's great. Big screen atmosphere, not for the beach weather, but if you want sunbathing, just pick another week.
I can fully understand why some punters have done it, because it is expensive. I mean, we've talked about how much it costs to have a room in Cheltenham for the week. I can understand that some have worked out that it's actually cheaper, believe it or not, to go to Spain for 4 or 5 days, maybe a whole week, extend it a bit at the end, and watch the racing. Hotels have set up the racing for you to view on big screens next to the swimming pool. I can understand how attractive that is, and maybe for one day it didn't quite work out, although who knows, by now the sun may be shining again. But I suppose Benidorm to watch the racing from Cheltenham is not for everybody. Let's move ourselves on to this final race of the day, though. It's the Fulk Warwick Kim Muir Challenge Cup. We generally call it the Kim Muir, but of course Fulk Warwick, another celebrated name of training, who added himself to the list in recent years. So Fulk Warwick Kim Muir Challenge Cup it is now. It's for amateur riders. So what's your technique in a race like this, Emma? Do you just go for the best rider? Because they do have an amazing way, don't they, of finding their way onto the best horses?
Yeah, they do, but also you really need a top-class jockey on your side, because, quite frankly, the standard in this race can sometimes just be a little bit, oh dear. No, you need to be backing somebody who's an absolute pro, and there's nobody better than Derek O'Connor. He's one of the greatest amateurs of all time, if not, he's certainly up there. I don't want to say he's the greatest, but he's certainly up there as one of the greatest for sure. And so having him on your side is a major advantage. He's going to ride Jericho de Repene. He runs off a mark of 1:45. A couple of years ago, he was 3-1 favourite for the Supreme Novice Hurdle. I think in November of that season, it was utter madness. He never quite got there, but to be fair, he didn't have things easy. He was second in the Pretemps last season when a very well-backed favourite off a mark of 1:35. That was over hurdles, narrowly beaten by Dodie the Great. Then turned that form around in listed company at Punchestown over hurdles off a mark of 1:39. He's rated 1:45 over fences. If you're 1:39 over hurdles and 1:45 over fences, considering horses are meant to be much better chasers, then you're probably well in. He's got a lot of weight to carry, but I think there's a lot of things in his favour, and he's almost certainly been trained to the minute for the race, so he's going to go very, very well. Kim Rock has a chance and is probably well handicapped. Bit of money coming in for Paul Nolan's horse, Sandor Clegane. I thought Jericho Rock was interesting. Not sure about David's horses, but he's an elder boy now. He's 10 years of age, but he was placed in an Ultima behind Corrick Rambler, who went on to win a Grand National. He was placed in a Hennessy. He runs off 1:29, and the young fella who's on him doesn't have much experience of racing under rules in the UK. In fact, this is only his second rules ride, but he was 5th in this race 2 years ago. And he claims £7, so that could be very valuable. Thought Patrick Mullen's mount was really interesting. Road to Home, I got a very positive upbeat about that, very positive upbeat bulletin, I should say, about that horse a couple of weeks ago. They didn't think the horse was going to get in. He got in pretty comfortably, actually. Patrick Mullins, as far as I know, was supposed to ride Kim Rock for Joseph O'Brien, had been to school him, but does ride for his father instead on Road to Home. And this is a race that Patrick has always wanted to win and talks about that quite openly. So Road to Home, very interesting horse, almost certainly unexposed and can improve up to this distance as well. So he's an interesting one, and he's coming in for money. But I think Jericho Rock's going to take a lot of it.
Yeah, he's favourite 4-1. Waterford Whispers, also the JP colours, 5-1. Kim Rock, you mentioned there, 11-2. Heracles Westwood at 9-1. Road to Home, 10-1. Prongard Trois at 14-1, all with William Hill. We'll talk a bit more about the Kim Muir in just a moment. This is Racing Live on TalkSport 2.
Your live sports station.
Oh, what a move. This is TalkSport 2. European football live on TalkSport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Powered by passion.
In moments of magic.
Fueled by fans.
Got a smile on my face that's not going to disappear for weeks to come.
Delivered by the ultimate dream team.
Absolutely first class.
Whenever and wherever there's international action, we're here for it.
And it's that man again.
Get unbeatable commentary and expert coverage of the Champions League, the Europa League and the Conference League.
Goodness me!
On TalkSport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever it is, we're here for it.
Need anything from Tesco?
Snacks and milk, love.
How about discounts on holidays abroad?
Don't forget fruit and veg for school.
Free nappies for premature babies.
And a quiet hour in store to shop in peace.
Can I get £2.50 cinema tickets on Tuesdays?
We know you need more than just groceries from us. We do all this because every little helps.
Need anything from Tesco?
Oh yeah, do you mind if I get some...
For further information, visit tescoplc.com/need-anything-from-Tesco.
Trojan knows that to be the best, you need to feel your best. So right now, get up to 50% off new performance workwear. Shop Trojan at arco.co.uk. Offer on selected lines.
Chicken dip has just landed at Domino's. Succulent tenders, wings and boneless bites, but that's not all. There are 9 dips to choose from, which begs the question, is it chicken with dips on the side or dips with chicken on the side? Dip into a world of flavour with chicken dip, new from Domino's.
Domino!
Subject to availability.
Renault.
Ready to accelerate your business? The Renault van range can power every job and every journey. Meet Renault's innovative range of Renault Kangoo, Traffic and Master E-Tech electric and diesel vans. Engineered to move your business forward with confidence. So join us at the Renault Pro Plus Days event and get 2 years extended warranty until the 22nd of March. Search Renault Pro Plus Days. Order by the 22nd of March, excluding Traffic E-Tech. T's and C's apply.
Why are you abseiling down the front of your house, Ross? You have a staircase.
I like doing things the hard way, Albert.
Try something easier, Ross. Get cheaper off-peak energy. It's available at different times, like during the day or weekends. Just get a smart meter and choose a flexible scheme or tariff.
Ooh, I could batch cook some quiche.
Perfect. With a smart meter, getting cheaper energy is easier than you think.
Eligibility varies. Action required. Schemes and tariffs available to selected customers.
We all love a good meal, but there's no feeling quite like cooking one. Whether it's everyone at yours for a Sunday roast or after-school sausage and mash. Quick, simple, gone in minutes. One thing brings it all together. Ah, Bisto. The original gravy. Rich, smooth, and unmistakable since 1908. When the gravy makes the dish, make the gravy. Ah, Bisto.
The stars come out to talk on TalkSport and TalkSport 2.
Please welcome Rob Grimes on TalkSport, a station that I'm always surprised at how much I enjoy it. And I go, oh, this is great in here. Look, he's got to sort out his back, isn't he? He's got to sort out the back row.
Massive names.
It's the superstar that is Usain Bolt.
When you score against a great keeper, it feels good.
Blue chip, gilt-edged, AAA rated opinions.
None other than Ronnie O'Sullivan, who is here in the studio with us.
When you read stuff back, oh, did I really say that?
Massive games, massive names on TalkSport and TalkSport 2.
The going's good for an afternoon spectacular.
Cheltenham 2026
on TalkSport 2.
This is Racing Live TalkSport 2. One final event of the afternoon on your way. It's one of the most spectacular. It's the Kim Muir, as it's known these days officially, the Falk Warwin Kim Muir Challenge Cup for amateur riders. 23 taking part, 3 1/4 mile steeplechase, and that means you need a bit of luck, because the thing about amateur riders is they do vary in standard from Derek O'Connor and Patrick Mullins to the amateur who's giving it a bit of a go, maybe even on a family pet who may have a tendency to fall off. So there are plenty of things to take into account. Tony, can I ask you, as they go down for this year's Kim Muir, are you more interested in the horse or the jockey?
Oh, the jockey, always been the jockeys. I mean, I know I'm getting on a little bit now, a bit long in the tooth now.
No, not at all, Tony. You're in the first flush of youth, as far as I'm concerned.
When you have your list of 7 or 8 jockeys that you go to jockeys in this race, and only 2 of them now, Barry O'Neill and Derek O'Connor, remain. You know, you've been watching this game for far too long. Jamie Codd, Richard Burton, Will Biddick, Alex Edwards, Sam Whaley-Cohen, all, Victoria Pendleton. They're all go-to jockeys.
Yes, I remember that,
for this race.
God, you pulled that one out of the box, didn't you?
Yeah, I thought I'd throw that one in. Yeah, but you can't get away from Derek O'Connor. Jericho de Repon there, likely race for this sort of staying handicap chase. Sorry about that. And still has the profile of one of... It could be better than his current mark as well, I think. And he's been running respectably in stronger company. And I do like Daily Present, course and distance winner. So we know he can handle at Cheltenham, and a searching stamina test, which is no small thing here. Downside is recent form, which has been a little bit poor. But there's Finney Maguire in there, Heracles Westwood, Patrick Mullins, of course, wrote to home, and Barry O'Neill, Prenz Garde Trois for Gordon Elliott at 14-1, sort of pricks my interest there, especially at 14-1. And good jockeys all around. And it's a main thing with good jockeys. Young Gleason's on Kim Rock, I see, for Joseph O'Brien as well, which is quite interesting.
I do think, actually, but a minute ago, they're at the start. We'll join Mark for the commentary in just a moment. Having a good jockey with you here is important, though, Emmett, isn't it? Because I don't want to be rude to some of the amateurs in the race. So, and they do vary, of course, between the extremely good and the having a go. But you don't really want to be on something that's absolutely tanky down the hill, full of running, only for the jockey to fall off at the second last.
No, the jockey is crucial. I mean, we've talked about Harry Skelton and how great he is, Paul Townend, and the value that he gives you. You need to have a top-class jockey, and this is an amateur riders race, so you're not going to have many of those, except for Derek O'Connor, Patrick Mullins, who's obviously won a Grand National, Finney Maguire is really good. I think Hendrick is really good, who's going to ride Sandor Clegane, who's got plenty of spins around Cheltenham and is trained by a man who won this race before, and obviously won it last year with Daily Present as well. So you're looking for that advantage, and quite frankly, if you're going to back a racehorse that's going to be ridden by a jockey that either lacks experience or doesn't have that ability, you want to be backing one that's a massive price to make up for that.
Okay, they're off. The starters taking no chances there with the amateur riders in the race. They set them off for the first time. Off they go. They've got to go around twice, but it's always a fascinating race. Let's join commentator Mark Johnson.
The first of the 22 fencers, Hung Jury is the back marker, slightly outpaced in the early stages. Also Excello towards the rear, and so too on the inside Sandor Clegane as they cross over fence number 2. Glengooley in the centre just touches down in front with on the inside Ars Brewster, and it's now Ars Brewster has come through to take the lead to Glengooley racing in second. The Enabler is in third, and then Heracles Westwood, the dark blue, right round the outside, making the first line of 4. They're then being followed by Lord Accord around the outside of Jericho Rock. On that one's inside is Mombeg Genius, who's racing at the moment just in advance of Prendre Garde à Trois as they make the run into the back straight. Road to Home is one of those who's taking a keen hold just on the heels of that leading group, and that leading group are being followed by Il Ridotto with Jericho de Repone just shuffle back on the inside as they got over the first fence taken down the back straight. Now the back marker is Sandor Clegane, and Hung Jury is last but one. On towards the water jump, which is going to be fence number 4, and as they go to it, it is Heracles Westwood upon the outside of Glengooley, and on the inside Ars Brewster, who were the first 3, and then Mombeg Genius on the inside. He's in a share of 4th with Il Ridotto, and with that one is Prendre Garde à Trois with Jericho Rock on the wide outside. There was a mistake there in midfield by We've All Been Caught, who rather nudged that fence. Ridden along at the back of the field, Hung Jury, who is totally outpaced in the early stages, and they go over the next plain fence, and in midfield a bit low was Olympic Man. They take the dogleg turn, carrying them now up the hill and on towards fence number 7, the next of the open ditches. And it is Ars Brewster who's now got the lead to Glengooley in second. Monbeg Genius on the inside just in third as they go over that open ditch, and all safely over. After that leading group on the outside is Heracles Westward racing alongside Il Ridotto. Just in front of those now is Road to Home, who pulled very hard in the early stages. The Enabler is towards the outside of Prendre Garde à Trois, and then Olympic Man and Jericho de Repenay. Then there's a break of a length and a half to Jericho Rock. After Jericho Rock, Lord Accord around the outside of King's Threshold. After King's Threshold towards the inside, We've All Been Caught, who races just in advance of Insurrection. Then towards the inside as they go over the next. A little bit of a mistake at the back of the field by No Time to Wait. So now they begin to make the run down the hill and racing on now towards fence number 10. And as they do so, it's out in front, Glengooley to on the inside, Ars Brewster. On the outside, in the dark blue, Heracles Westward. Then Il Ridotto and Monbeg Genius towards the inside. Jericho Rock and Lord Accord out very wide, just losing 1 or 2 places. Again, very slow at the back of the field. Over that was No Time to Wait. He is now last. Hungjury is last but 1 and last but 2, Sandor Cleggan. Last year's winner has only got 4 behind at this point, Daily Present, as they make the turn into the home straight, and he at the moment is racing alongside Excello. So racing through their starting point, they've now taken the first 10 fences. The 11th is in their sights, and it's Glengooley with on the inside Ars Brewster and on the outside Heracles Westward. The first 3, Monbeg Genius took that one in 4th position. Then Road to Home, who still races keenly on the outside of Il Ridotto. Out a little bit wider is Prendre Garde à Trois, and he's followed by the Enabler, and then Olympic Man is 2 on the inside, followed by Jericho de Repenay. Jericho Rock in the vivid orange is trying to make a little bit of ground. He's now just gone past King's Threshold as they make the turn going past the enclosures. On the inside, We've All Been Caught. Lord Accord is still taken wide. Insurrection is next, followed by Cave Court. After Cave Court, as they go up the hill, is Waterford Whispers. He's racing in front of Excello, and then towards the inside as they make the turn is Kim Rock. After Kim Rock towards the inner is Daily Present, who still is right towards the rear of the field. Hungjury is last but 1, and the back marker is Sandor Cleggan. They go over the first fence, taken down the back straight. Glengooley just about had the lead as they crossed over that. So they're now entering the final mile and going on towards the water jump. And it's Glengooley who's got the lead. To on the inside in a close second is Ars Brewster, and over that fence in 3rd position out wide with Heracles Westward. Then Monbeg Genius is on the inside of Il Ridotto and Road to Home, and then Jericho Rock, and still out wide right there is Prendre Garde à Trois as they get over that next fence. And that was the open ditch, the second last open ditch of the race. Driven at the back of the field is Hungjury, who's never really managed to be competitive. Over another plain one, this is the 7th from the finish, and still many chances. They are very tightly grouped with Ars Brewster on the inside of Glengooley, and back in 3rd position is Heracles Westward and Monbeg Genius on the inside of Road to Home. Then out a little bit wider, Prendre Garde à Trois. Then to the inside, We've All Been Caught. The Enabler on the outside, Il Ridotto, cross that one next. Then Jericho Rock. After Jericho Rock, the purple and yellow of Cave Court, who is making ground. The grey Excello is also beginning to hunt them up. Round the wide outside, Insurrection tries to stay on. King's Threshold is next. Then on the inside, Waterford Whispers, and they now go over the fence right at the top of the hill. Dropping right out the back of the field now is Jericho de Repenay. He's badly lost his position. Lord Accord has also dropped right out the back. So too has Olympic Man. So now they are beginning to make the freewheel run down the hill. Just the 4 fences to take. Over that 4th from home, and the leader is Ars Brewster and Shane Cotter. Out in front to Glengooley and Darragh McGill in second. On the inside, Monbeg Genius and Jamie Scallon in 3rd position. On the outside, still right there, is Heracles Westward, and then on the inside, trying to make ground, is Road to Home as they go over the 3rd from home in the full Woing Kinmure, and now making ground from a long way back. Daily Present, last year's winner, the white and brown colours. He's making good ground. And on the wide outside, the red and white from a long way back. Sandor Cleggan now begins to get involved. Also, Cave Court is there on the heels of the leading group as they make the turn in. 2 more fences to take. Ars Brewster taken on now on the inside by Monbeg Genius and Road to Home. Back in 4th position is the Enabler, and then on the wide outside is Sandor Cleggan as they rise at 2 out. Ars Brewster by about a length. He's out in front now to Road to Home in 2nd, still staying on the near side, the Enabler. Back in 4th, Monbeg Genius, and they're now clear of in 5th, Sandor Cleggan over the final fence. Ars Brewster got in top. tight, but he jumps it just as well as Road to Home, his nearest pursuer. Now they've got a furlong to go on the flat. Road to Home putting in a power back finish over on the far side. On the near side is Ars Brewster. It's between these two. There's just a head bob between them as they race up towards the line. Ars Brewster on the near side. Ars Brewster to Road to Home. Monbeg Genius, and then staying on came Kim Rock.
Finish. Racing TV is the only channel showing every race live from the Cheltenham Festival. You can enjoy it all for half price. Head to racingtv.com/half price now. I've just seen the replay. Ars Brewster, I think, has just got it by a head, in which case an amazing success for Kath Williams, who's just taken over the training of the horses in the yard in South Wales. You probably read all about that in your papers just recently, but there will be wild celebrations after that one. I'll give you 10 seconds, Emmett, and then we've really got to say goodbye. What a finish, final race of the day.
Yeah, fantastic. Well done to Ars Brewster and his connections. I have to feel sorry for Patrick Mullins. It's been a pretty tough Cheltenham Festival for him so far. He's come there with every chance to win his first ever Kim Muir, and he just doesn't quite get there. But hey, he did win a Grand National, so no complaints from him, I suppose. But fantastic stuff for the connections of Ars Brewster.
Okay, that's it. We are out of time. So, Tony, we'll give you plenty to say tomorrow, but that is it. Day 3 of the festival is over. Join us again for the big finale tomorrow, when I'll be actually at the course for the 2026 Cheltenham Gold Cup. Rest of the team still very much in place, though. Rupert and Lizzie are back with the preview show. Always lots of fun at 10 in the morning. We'll hear from trainer Ben Pauling, also Harry Redknapp, very interested in the Gold Cup tomorrow. Of course, what a moment that would be if Harry could win that with the Jukebox Man. Emmett, Tony and I, meanwhile, are off to bury our noses in the form book for one final time. We'll see you again tomorrow at 1.
Europa League live on TalkSport 2 with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Here for it. Book now at enterprise.co.uk.
Amazon Spring Deal Days is here with deals up to 40% off. So Gary here can get a little deal hunting done, hiding away from his seasonal chores. He deserves this moment to save big on electronics, outdoor, home and more. Is that footsteps, Gary? Get back to work! But just one more peek at the Amazon deals before... Oh, that is lovely. Hurry to get Amazon Spring Deals. Up to 40% off from the 10th to the 16th of March. Selected products only.
This was my reaction to the Making Tax Digital self-assessment and the fact that as of April, I have to file my taxes every quarter. No! Please, no! But now I use Anna Money, it's more like, oh, that? Yeah, all sorted. Didn't even have to think about it. Anna does your MTD self-assessment for free. You just sign up, connect your bank account, and that's it. Everything happens automatically. Search Anna Money to find out more.
Aqua Uniprimer is made by us, Dulux Trade.
And approved by professional painters like me and you.
It's made to get a grip on all major surfaces.
From wood to metal, tiles to UPVC, inside or out, you name it, this stuff sticks.
And it's made to be recoat ready in 60 minutes.
So we can get the job done.
Dulux Trade Aqua Uniprimer. It's made by us.
And approved by you. And me.
Put it to the test. Try Dulux Trade Aqua Uniprimer today.
Indeed presents hires you can't afford to get wrong, like payroll manager.
Hi, I was just checking my payslip and it's all in Japanese yen.
Yes, you're welcome.
Sorry?
Given the exchange rate between the pound and the yen, you're technically a millionaire now. Don't spend it all in one place.
I can't really spend it anywhere.
This is a job for sponsored jobs.
This is what happens when you don't sponsor your job on Indeed. So the next time you need someone to get the job done right, get matched with quality candidates with an Indeed sponsored job. Visit Indeed.com/nexthire and sponsor your job today.
Crayola has landed on Planet Happy Meal, so explore your little astronaut's imagination and see where their creativity takes them. From colouring to creating, the sky's the limit. So reach for the stars. Some fun, some food, it's all inside this Happy Meal. Until 23rd of March from 11 a.m. Includes one pre-selected book or toy, whilst Crayola range comprises toys only, while stocks last.
On DAB+, online, via the TalkSport app, and on your smart speaker.
Kickoff, live.
Slide tackling, spontaneous football and fury.
Get stuck in the thoroughly world-famous Kickoff. Readily discursive and totally immersive.
Award-winning live football commentary.
Kickoff, live.
On TalkSport 2.
Hello and welcome to live coverage of the UEFA Europa League as Lille host Aston Villa at the Stade Pierre-Mauroy. in the first leg of this last 16 tie. Unai Emery returns to a competition he knows better than most, chasing a record-extending 5th Europa League title as Villa look to keep their impressive recent European run going. Lille, meanwhile, battle through the playoff round to get here and will hope home advantage in northern France can give them the edge ahead of the return leg at Villa Park this time next week. It's Lille against Aston Villa, and it's live on TalkSport 2.
Bailey's ball in, and in it goes, and Aston Villa leads.
Abraham takes it down and scores! Right through the middle!
Normally we are being so disciplined to keep our structure in each game, but sometimes for as well because the opponent, they are breaking us.
Do you know what? He is the perfect man for this particular competition because he's done it 4 times, although I thought he was the perfect man for the Europa Conference League, which technically is even easier, and it didn't happen.
If this season fizzles out and they don't finish in the top 5, they don't win the Europa League, no Champions League football means no Champions League money.
Aston Villa's best chance of Champions League football next year is winning the Europa League.
100%.
Action-packed European football on TalkSport 2. Yes, Aston Villa can't buy a win in the Premier League, but we'll be hoping a return to continental competition can once again be their salvation. They make 4 changes from the side hammered at home by Champions League rivals Chelsea in their last Premier League outing. Matty Cash is unavailable due to injury, so Lamar Bogard comes in at right back. Pau Torres, Luca Digne and Jadon Sancho are the others who are recalled, with Tyrone Mings, Ian Matson and Leon Bailey dropping out. The Villa team in full: Martinez in goal, Bogard, Konsa, Torres and Digne the back 4. Douglas Luiz and Amadou Onana against his former club make up the midfield, with Sancho, Buendia and Rogers behind Ollie Watkins, preferred to Tammy Abraham up front. The good news for Villa is that John McGinn is available for bench duty. He's not played since hobbling off against Everton way back on January the 18th. As for Lille, well, plenty of familiar faces, including the now 39-year-old Olivier Giroud, the former Arsenal and Chelsea striker, Nabil Bentaleb, once of Tottenham, Romain Perrault, the former Southampton fullback, and ex-Newcastle man Chancel Mbemba, all in the starting lineup. So the hosts go with Oza in goal, a back 4 of Thiago Santos, Mbemba, Mondi and Perrault, Macau, Andre the captain and Bentaleb in midfield, with Perron, Giroud and Haraldson leading the attack. Andy Townsend, former Aston Villa midfielder, is alongside me. Andy, let's start with that team news. How big a blow is it? They don't have a fully fit right back. Lamar Bogard, usually a midfielder, having to play out of position.
Yeah, of course, for a game now of this magnitude, because there's an awful lot resting on these 2 games against Lille. You'd like to have a pretty healthy panel to choose from. That's not quite the case at the moment for Unai Emery. What I would say about Lamar Bogard is as honest and as he's the perfect kind of individual to throw himself at having to play, whether it's a right back, whether it's a central midfielder, whether it's a left back, you name it. That boy goes in there and is always looking to do a very steady job. So they'll be hoping a repeat of that. This is a position he's played in before, so it shouldn't be a problem for him. He's just got to get his defensive work right and make sure he communicates with Ezri Konsa alongside him and those that are just in front of him. So yeah, it shouldn't be a problem.
What sort of game are we expecting tonight? Because Aston Villa's goals have really dried up in the Premier League, 5 in their last 7 in total. Lille, they've only scored more than 1 goal in 1 of their last 15 matches. That suggests it might be quite a low-scoring affair.
Yes, it does. If I was in the Lille camp right now, I think you'd be looking for a fast start and a really positive night. Villa, I've watched an awful lot this season, Crookie, and right now they're probably at their lowest point. They've really struggled to put anything significant together of late. They were well beaten by Chelsea. Chelsea absolutely put them away on that night. I don't think Villa can have any complaints about the final outcome of that one. And there's been others like that. So I think this game for Aston Villa comes as a welcome relief. It comes as an opportunity for them to try and get back to winning ways. If they leave here all square, they will fancy their chances big time at Villa Park next week, but won't be easy.
Well, let's hear from the Aston Villa manager Unai Emery now here on TalkSport 2. Speaking ahead of this game, he says he wants to see the Aston Villa team who started the season in such good form.
Normally we are being so disciplined to keep our structure in each game, but sometimes for as well because the opponent they are breaking us with different tactical ways or individual qualities. We are not keeping strong, and especially against Chelsea especially, I missed more things in our structure than normally we were doing. And this week, of course, we were working this week with the days we had to train, to try to correct and recover and remind ourselves everything we will need for the next matches and starting for the match tomorrow.
Andy, what's happened to Aston Villa since the turn of the year? Because I remember they went to Arsenal just after Christmas, I think it was. They'd lost there, but at that time we were asking, well, not just Champions League contenders, could Aston Villa actually be shock contenders for the title itself? Is it too simplistic just to say that injuries in that midfield area in particular are to blame for their dip in form?
I think everyone, Crookie, gets injuries, and every squad has to suffer in that respect. I think certainly for Aston Villa to lose the three central midfielders all at the same time, Tielemans, McGinn and Boubacar Kamara, to lose all of those was a particular blow. I think it's been really difficult in that respect. Others that have come back, Leon Bailey hasn't really picked it up yet. He hasn't got back to anything like the sort of form we saw a year and a half ago from him before he left Villa. Jadon Sancho, we see flashes but not enough. Tammy Abraham has obviously had to come off the bench and has actually chipped in with a few nice goals, but again, limited starts. Ollie Watkins can't seem to find the back of the net at the moment, so that puts a big strain on your back four, which hasn't been quite as solid and hasn't been as resilient. So their confidence is down, their numbers are down, and as a result of that, the results have gone in the wrong direction too.
So I guess the big question, is this Europa League a distraction from the Premier League, or actually could it be a nice antidote?
I think it could be a nice antidote, I really do. I think there's a lot of pressure rested. I mean, what they cannot afford tonight is to come to Lille, perform like they have done a little too often lately, get beat and give themselves too much to do in a return leg. So we've seen this week there've been some crazy results in Europe. They really have, and these matches can get away from you very quickly if you lose your focus, lose your concentration, which is why we heard Unai Emery there just moments ago talking about the structure, talking about the discipline of hanging on to that structure. What served them so well, they've got to make sure they can fall back on that tonight.
And I guess in some ways what's happened in the Champions League, you've alluded to it, obviously big defeats for Manchester City and Chelsea last night, Liverpool beaten in Turkey, even Arsenal struggling away from home in Leverkusen. Might that just focus the minds of these Aston Villa players that actually maybe the Premier League are not the dominant force that we maybe thought?
I think so, I certainly think so. Look, I think Villa, when they're at their best, with their best, are the most proficient team in this competition. I think they are the best team in it. However, that's not where they find themselves right now. Right now, questions are being asked, confidence is down. So tonight, it's about making sure they do the basics right.
OK, well, the players are in the tunnel. Kickoff not too far away, so time to get an odds update. All thanks to William Hill.
In the Zone on TalkSport 2 with William Hill. 18 plus, gambleaware.org.
And delighted to say Lee Phelps joined us now all the way from Cheltenham. Lee, what do the odds tell us ahead of this big game this evening?
Yeah, it's a really interesting one. We've got a fascinating night in store, haven't we, as well? Loads of football, looks really good. And obviously, if you're having an accumulator, you can use your Acca Boost with William Hill. 4 or more picks gets you activated. We've got an epic boost on this game. It's Aston Villa to score the first goal. 5-4 boosted from 4-5. In terms of the match, it's really interesting listening to you guys, because I think this week has kind of just corrected people's thoughts on how dominant the Premier League is. I'm not sure if Lille are at the calibre of Real Madrid and PSG and Barcelona and the like, or Bodo Glimt for that matter. At that level, they're 23-10 to win this game. They draw 21-10, and Aston Villa are 6-5. You know, you'd expect Aston Villa to go there. They went there and drew 2-2, didn't they, in 2024, and got through on pens. I wonder if this is a game where they just get the job done, get a draw and get back. to Villa Park and then do the job there. Don't mind the draw, 21-10. You can have both teams to score added to that, so basically a score draw is 17-5. But what you guys have been saying is that, I think on their nights they've got the goal scorers and the goal scoring ability to blow Lille away, but Lille haven't got many goals in them. Like, if you're looking at goal scorers, by the way, Giroud, the perennial Olivier Giroud, 13-5 to score at any time, still banging them in. And really, he's their only hope for a goal, really, because a lot of the other players that come for them aren't in great form. First goal for Giroud is 5-1. You look at Villa, just on paper, you got Watkins, you got Buendia, you got Rodgers, all capable of scoring and of scoring something out of nothing as well. Watkins is nearly 2-1 to score in the game. Buendia is 12-5. Morgan Rodgers is 23-10. So plenty of chances there. Personally, I'm going to go for that score draw. I think Villa will do a job on Lille here and try and get through. The manager Unai Emery is obviously a master of getting to finals of this competition and winning. Anyone called Villa, basically, Sevilla, Villarreal, Aston Villa. So I'm going to trust in Unai Emery and think Aston Villa do a job here, get a draw, get them back and get through on the home leg.
Great stuff, Lee. Enjoy Gold Cup Day tomorrow. That was an odds update. All thanks to William Hill. You can get 2 epic boosts every day of the Cheltenham Festival. Singles only. Terms and conditions apply. 18+. Gambleaware.org.
In the Zone on TalkSport 2 with William Hill. 18+. Gambleaware.org.
And a reminder, this game is brought to you in partnership with TNT Sports, the home of European football. We are not too far away now from kickoff. Are you confident, Andy Townsend, that your old club can come away with a positive result?
Yes, I am. Again, I think that it will require maximum concentration, and I just hope that there are no lingering leftovers from that Chelsea performance, that they banish all thoughts of what didn't happen for them on the day at Villa Park. This is a completely different concept, a totally different competition and another game of football, but they've got to approach it in the right manner. If they do, I think over the 2 legs they'll have too much for Lille.
Well, this is the start of a busy Thursday night on the TalkSport network. Coming up after we're finished in northern France, we'll be hot footing it to Selhurst Park. Crystal Palace against Larnaca, first leg of their Conference League last 16 tie. Over on TalkSport, we're at the City Ground as Nottingham Forest take on a Michelin side that have already beaten them in the Europa League this season. 2 more fascinating ties, but for now our focus is very much on Aston Villa and manager Unai Emery's quest to win this competition for an unprecedented 5 times. In fact, this is his 103rd Europa League game as a manager, having won 62 of the previous 102.
Yeah, no, he's a specialist in the competition. Of that there is absolutely no doubt. Let's hope he's got something special up his sleeve this evening.
Well, we're just watching the pre-match coin toss. Esri Konsa is the Aston Villa captain this evening. You're going to hear Andy the atmosphere. 40,000 people expected inside the stadium. Really is quite ferocious.
No, it's good, and you would expect that. For Lille, know that the Lille fans, they're excited about the prospect of this game this evening. They will know that they have to travel to Birmingham next week with something tangible in their back pockets. I think if Villa were to win here tonight, I don't give Lille any chance at all of recovering and getting through the tie. But as I said, European football, once we get to this sort of knockout phase and the quarter-finals, the fine margins for success and failure, they really are. These games are decided by the merest of brilliance and a bad decision, a mistake, and you can be in pole position playing ever so well. You make a mistake and now in this competition it can cost you.
Well, it is the start of a huge week, a pivotal week in Aston Villa's season. They go to Manchester United, one of their big rivals, for a place in the top 5 on Sunday. But for now the focus is very much on the Europa League, a competition many Villa fans feel might be their best route to a seat at Europe's top table next season. It is Lille who get us off and running, the home team in their red jerseys with navy shorts and socks. And from left to right in the first half, Aston Villa all in white, attacking the goal away to our left. And for those of you just joining in, I remind you of the Villa lineup one last time. Martinez in goal, Bogard in for the injured Cash at right back, Komsa, Pau Torres and Luca Digne make up the back 4. Douglas Luiz and Onana will hold in midfield with Sancho, Buendia and Morgan Rogers in behind Ollie Watkins up front. Lille dictating possession in these very early exchanges, with the Algerian Mondi just finding his captain, the combative Benjamin Andre in midfield. He had a lively night the last time that these two teams met in a big European game. He scored, missed a penalty in the shootout as Villa ultimately won through, but they're under pressure here, having given the ball away on the edge of their own penalty area. And it is Andre who sweeps it out to his left-hand side, and Romain Perraud, the former Southampton fullback, plays it back into midfield, and it's chipped into the penalty area to be met by Santos up from right back. The ball is cleared by Luca Digne, hits Santos in the face and bounces behind for a goal kick. But quite a front-footed start from the French team, Andy.
Yeah, decent possession. Just looking at Villa, the way they're shaping up, Ollie Watkins and Morgan Rogers almost as the two really when they go out of possession up front. Emi Buendia off the left. And I personally always think Morgan Rogers is a better outball when he plays slightly off of one side. Villa have, in recent weeks, when he's played in that 10 position, have struggled to kind of get the ball to him.
Just got a shot on our monitor of the Lille manager, Bruno Genesio. What a record he has when it comes to winning out against some of the top names in the game. He's beaten Jose Mourinho, Diego Simeone, Pep Guardiola and Carlo Ancelotti. Not too many managers can claim that.
No, exactly right. Just see Morgan Rogers there, just applying a bit of pressure to Perraud. Down Lille's left side, Villa's right. Just a little bit of pressure, just nudges him in the back, concedes a free kick, and all the pressure relieved.
Yeah, the ball is down in the left-back position for Lille, 6th in the French league, having dropped vital points in their quest to get back in the Champions League at the weekend. They were leading 1-0 until the 93rd minute against Lorient, ended up drawing 1 apiece. Villa have had 8 days to prepare for this game since losing heavily at home to Chelsea, having already been knocked out of the FA Cup at home to Newcastle. Here's Morgan Rogers trying to slide it forward to Buendia, intercepted and picked up by Anana, back on familiar territory, having played 43 games for Lille during his one season in this part of France. The ball steered up towards Ollie Watkins, but he can't keep it in play. Lille have a throw midway inside their own half. 4 minutes gone, 0-0.
Yeah, Pau Torres there, just missing out the midfield players, trying to find Ollie Watkins with a 40-yard pass in that gully. Not a bad idea that, early on, when you're feeling a little bit of pressure from a home team, to turn them round immediately.
Headed forward by Pau Torres, but out of play as the throw came in, and Lille will have possession now, back just inside their own half with the right back, Thiago Santos. And he will just play this back towards his own 18-yard box, and the ex-Newcastle man, Chancel Mbemba, has the ball 6 or 7 yards outside the penalty area, forward down this right-hand side to Thiago Santos, who's shown plenty of aptitude to get forward in these opening minutes. Now it's with Mondi, who comes over the halfway line out from the back, plays it down the left-hand side to Perraud. Both those fullbacks actually staying very high up the field early on, as Nabil Bentaleb, once of Tottenham, the League Cup winner with Spurs, plays the ball to the right-wing position. And Macau is flagged offside, so Villa will have a free kick.
Yeah, and don't need to be in a hurry early on, away from home in a European knockout game. You've got to play at breakneck speed every time the game goes dead, whether it goes out for a throw or there's a free kick. Villa can just take their time, keep their shape, make sure that they're fully focused. It's when they go out of possession. Lately, they've been going out of possession, Villa, and teams have been hitting them hard and punishing them. So they've got to react quickly. When they lose the ball, get back behind into that shape that the manager was talking about pre-game.
We will have the second leg of this tie next Thursday night from Villa Park, live on TalkSport. Andy will be on co-commentary duty. Villa will be hoping to go back to British soil with a much better result than some of the Premier League teams have managed this week. Heavy defeats for Chelsea and for Manchester City in the Champions League last night. Liverpool losing away from home in Turkey, and even Arsenal held to a 1-1 draw in Leverkusen, although you'd expect them to turn it around next week. Emi Martinez, who was the hero of the penalty shootout victory for Villa in the quarter-finals of the Conference League a couple of seasons ago, has the ball on the edge of the area, but no real hurry to play it forward.
He's got his foot on the ball, the goalkeeper rolling his foot across the top of the ball, which is basically saying to the Lille players, come and get it. He wants them to come and squeeze, and then they can play through the lines. Certainly without the main three midfield players, McGinn, Tielemans and Boubacar Kamara, that has been a difficulty for Villa too. The way that they play in possession of the ball, their ability to find a way through a press, it's not been quite so apparent lately.
Here is Nana trying to just get Villa on the ball. Lille having dominated possession the first 7 minutes, but it is still goalless here on TalkSport 2 as Martinez plays the pass out to Ezri Konsa, right corner of the penalty area, and then Jadon Sancho under pressure was asking a bit of Onana on the edge of his own penalty area, and Onana manages to squeeze his pass out to Luca Digne on this left-hand side. Aston Villa, who have scored 2 or more goals in 9 of their last 13 European outings, but the goals have certainly dried up in the Premier League in recent weeks. Here is Buendia inside the centre circle, but still inside the Villa half, finds Digne, who again slowly but surely comes over the halfway line, and Douglas Luiz tries to switch the play out to the far right touchline, where Bogard keeps the visitors on the front foot, plays the ball into midfield. Douglas Luiz again able to turn away from Olivier Giroud. Now Pau Torres won this competition with Villarreal under Unai Emery back in 2021, plays the ball into the Lille territory. Douglas Luiz out to the right-hand side, and Sancho running at Perrault, but stopped in his tracks initially, then gave it back to Perrault, and now Lille will try and pick their way forward, but it's well won back by Jadon Sancho, high up the field. Now Onana, almost right in the centre of the Lille half. This Villa's longest spell of possession, the opening 8 minutes, goalless on TalkSport 2 in this first leg. Last 16 Europa League tie, Douglas Luiz was almost caught in possession, but managed to find Luca Digne. And then there was a foul by Douglas Luiz. Quite a robust challenge there on Haraldsson, the Icelander, and it will be a free kick for Lille, just on the edge of the centre circle. 0-0.
Ball laid into Haraldsson on the halfway line, into his feet, gathers it quite well, and Douglas Luiz immediately rattling him, unfortunately knocking him to the ground. Free kick conceded. Lille on the attack once more, but pretty even so far. 8.5 minutes gone. Lille had most of the opening few minutes playing in Villa's territory, and in return Villa the last 3 or 4 minutes have been better when they've had the ball, but neither goalkeeper works with anything yet at all.
No, pretty subdued start, as the first legs of knockout European ties often can be, as the ball is crossed in towards Olivier Giroud. Compton's initial clearance only found Haraldsson on the edge of the area, but they've managed to smuggle it over halfway now, and then Perron is penalised for just tugging the shirt at Morgan Rogers as he looked to launch the counter-attack, and Villa have a free kick 5 yards inside the Lille half.
Yeah, and that's Morgan Rogers is so powerful, Crookie, so quick across the first 10 or 15 yards. But when he plays in that 10 position, there's usually a lot of traffic and players around him that can either grab him, bump him, knock him to the floor, foul him. When he plays slightly wider, I always think he provides the team with a real threat, because once he goes running at anybody in a 1v1, he's only got to push it past them, and they will not catch him. But just in the middle of the park sometimes, he's never quite able to travel as far with the ball because of the traffic in and around him there.
You are listening to the Europa League live on TalkSport 2 with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Here for it. Book your Europa at enterprise.co.uk. We've got a stoppage in play here so that the players observing Ramadan can just take on some supplies. It does give both managers the opportunity to relay some instructions as well. And for me to tell you, the latest episode of the How to Win the World Cup podcast is now live. Matt Ford and Lloyd Griffith speak to former Premier League referee Mark Clattenburg about what it's like to referee the biggest games in world football and why officiating in the World Cup is often very different to the Premier League. That's available now wherever you get your podcast, and of course on the TalkSport YouTube channel. More live football coming your way over the course of the weekend. As always, tomorrow night we've got the big Welsh derby, Wrexham against Swansea in the Championship, live on TalkSport 2. That's an 8 o'clock kickoff, Saturday 12:30 here on TalkSport 2. Stuttering Middlesbrough host Bristol City in the Championship, that followed by West Brom Hull, a game that affects both ends of the table. And at 8 o'clock, live and exclusive on TalkSport, West Ham host Manchester City. 11 minutes gone here. Misery Concert has the ball deep inside the Villa half. It's still 0-0 in northern France on what's been a warm and pleasant day. Pau Torres plays the ball back into his goalkeeper, Emi Martinez. You can see they're very quick, aren't they, on the press. Lille red shirt swarming around Amadou Onana, who managed to find Torres, but Pau Torres slips as he looked to play the forward pass. It's now with Haraldson inside the centre circle. Thiago Santos back to Benjamin Andre, the skipper, on halfway, making his 50th European appearance for Lille tonight, the 35-year-old Andre. They're content just to play a bit of keep ball here, with Villa having everybody back inside their own half. Andre tries to sweep it out to the left touchline, and Perraud couldn't keep it in play, so Aston Villa have the throw.
Not the best ball, actually, switched from Andre out to Perraud, the left back. Bounced in front of him and ends up giving him too much to do to try and keep him playing. Of course, Lille playing with Olivier Giroud up front. Look, he wasn't the most mobile in his absolute heyday, so he's not going to be charging into the gullies too much, Giroud. He'll feed towards the ball and hang on to it. He's always been very good at that. His technical play's always been excellent, I think. And then he'll get in the box from those crosses.
Well, won it back well here though, Aston Villa. Morgan Rogers forward to Watkins. He's got Buendia up in support, and it's a dreadful pass from Watkins. Far too much pace on it, and what looked like a promising Aston Villa attack ends up on a throw-in for Lille on this near side.
4v3 there for a minute, Villa. Ollie Watkins broke free. He had good support next to him, either side of him. Poor pass in the end. Doesn't find a white shirt tonight, and goes back to a Lille throw-in now on this right side.
That's a little bit of a microcosm of Aston Villa's form in recent weeks, certainly in the Premier League. They did finish second in the league phase, coming from behind to beat RB Salzburg on quite a dramatic last night in the league phase at Villa Park, when a couple of youngsters came off the bench and made a real impact. Unai Emery, unsurprisingly, opting for senior heads tonight in this first leg of the round of 16. And Buendia having to defend, facing his own penalty area. Passes the ball back to Luca Digna in the left-back position. Digna's clearance upfield is not the best, and Andre for Lille regains possession. Thiago Santos now, the fancy footwork, gets away from Buendia, and they've come into midfield now. Have Lille. One back well by Buendia, and then Morgan Rogers plays the ball infield to Jadon Sancho. Lille 0, Aston Villa 0 on TalkSport 2 with 15 gone. Lamar Bogard, nephew of the former Champions League winner Winston Bogard, comes forward down the right. Gets it back from Sancho, and those two exchange passes over on the far side. Bogard, a midfielder by trade, so comfortable coming forward in possession. Both teams very well organised off the ball so far.
Yeah, only gentle pressure from Lille. They're not really squeezing hard against Aston Villa. Villa have kept the ball now down this right side, probably 20 yards outside of the Lille 18-yard box, going back to the halfway line as they often do to keep the ball. Now they serve it forward. That's better from Pau Torres.
Yeah, up to Watkins on the edge of the penalty area, but well defended by Mondi. Now it's on the feet of Macau on this right-hand side. And then the ball played back into Nabil Bentaleb, who was under pressure from Rogers, but he found his goalkeeper, the Turkish international Berk Oza. No real tempo about the game so far. You get the sense that these two are rather feeling each other out in the early exchanges. As I said earlier, not unusual that in a knockout European tie, particularly in the first leg. Although we've had goals of plenty in the Champions League this week. As Perrault comes racing forward down the left-hand side, looked to pick out Giroud with a cross, but it's too close to Emi Martinez, and he collects gleefully inside the 6-yard box. No goals in the other early kickoffs in the Europa League. Bologna 0, Roma 0. Villa will play one of those in the quarter-finals should they get there. Panathinaikos 0, Real Betis 0. Then Stuttgart, Porto, 2 more teams on Villa's half of the draw. That's goalless as well. They have been given a tricky route to the final in Istanbul. Aston Villa, no question about that. Porto and Roma outside of Lyon, probably, along with Villa, the 2 strongest teams left in. With Bologna, no mugs either, Andy.
No, they played Bologna, Villa in the Champions League. I think so. They will have known a bit about them. But this side of the draw is tough. There are, the likes of Roma and others. Porto, they're not going to be easy, those sort of games, of course, assuming that those teams do actually prosper and get through.
Yeah, we'll keep you updated with the goals as they go in, as Nabil Bentaleb plays the ball out to the right-hand side, and Thiago Santos in space to run forward into Villa territory. Drew the foul there from Buendia with a couple of step-overs, and, well, Buendia fell for it, didn't he?
Yeah.
Gives away the free kick.
Nice play there. Thiago Santos, the right-back. Stepping forward, little step over in front of Emi Buendia. Draws the foul, but they've kept the ball a lot so far, Lille on the halfway line. Bentaleb and Andre in the middle of the park most times are going square with the ball. There's a ball laid into Giroud, trying to find his feet, but he gets the corner.
Yeah, I think Pau Torres just carried that over the byline, and Lille have their first corner, and Olivier Giroud, so deadly in the air, will be one of the big targets here. 39 years of age now, a winner in the Europa League with Chelsea. They beat Arsenal in Baku back in 2019, and 4 of the 9 goals he scored this season have come in European competition. So Aston Villa will have to be on their mettle here for the first corner of the evening. 0-0, 18 minutes gone, and it will be Gaëtan Perron to take from this near right-hand side as we look. Flags waving behind the goal that Villa are defending. Perron towards the far stick, into where Giroud was lurking, but Jadon Sancho on the half volley able to swipe the ball clear to halfway, where it's picked up by the goalkeeper, Oza. Defended that one well enough, Aston Villa.
Yeah, lots of bodies in and around where that ball dropped, and Lille couldn't really make anything significant of it. Chancellor Mbemba it was who actually rose and got first contact, but it was always comfortably blocked. Now Villa again in their own half, sitting there just really solid, banking up.
Here's Haraldson, pokes the ball out to the right. Thiago Santos quickly closed down by Luca Digne, and the ball bounces off Santos and behind for a goal kick for Aston Villa. Lille have eliminated Aston Villa from Europe before, beat them 2-0 here in the Intertoto Cup back in 2002. It was a remarkable quarter-final when these two met in the Conference League a couple of years ago, 3-3 after 2 legs. Villa going through to the semis on penalties, and ultimately will be knocked out by Olympiacos. And, well, much like this season, they were seen as the favourites to go all the way in that competition. Mainly down to the fact that Unai Emery is the past master when it comes to European silverware and taking teams deep into the draw. He was the manager of Arsenal when Giroud's Chelsea beat them 4-0 in Baku. Here is Sancho, over on the right-hand side, forward into the penalty area. Rodgers with a chance to cross, and he flashes a cross-camp shot across the face of goal and behind as we welcome listeners from TalkSport. It was a neat little ball in by Jadon Sancho. I think he was in 2 minds, Andy Townsend, Morgan Rodgers, whether to go for goal or try and cross in the end. It was sort of in the middle.
It was indeed. Lovely ball there from Jadon Sancho, stepping in off the right side, and then with the outside of his boot just turning it into the gully. Good run from Morgan Rodgers It's probably the best position Villa have found themselves in, actually, in this opening 20 minutes.
Yeah, neither goalkeeper has really had a save of note to make. A very cagey first quarter of the first leg of this Europa League round of 16 tie. Aston Villa looking to put their domestic struggles behind them. They have a throw-in on the right-hand side over on the far touchline, but it's cleared away by Perrault. And then Haraldson for Lille, forward towards Macau inside the centre circle. The volume level goes up inside the stadium as Thiago Santos looks to cross into the penalty area. Good header away by Lamar Bogard, the makeshift right back. And with 21 minutes gone, it stays Lille 0, Aston Villa 0. Very comfortable in possession, the hosts.
Yeah, without really having to play through any sort of press at the moment. Crookie, Villa are happy to let them roll it around square and side by side. They're just happy to keep in their own shape.
Here is Thiago Santos, who's seen plenty of the ball, getting forward from right back, takes on Buendia into the area. Macau urged to shoot by the home fans. He just took too long to get the shot away, and Villa able to clear, but picked up on the halfway line once again by Chancellor Mbemba.
Just a chance there, wasn't a little window for Macau to get a shot away. In the end, he one touch too many, and he was closed down in the end.
The slow tempo continues, but Lille still having more of the ball. Villa content to sit back inside their own half and try and use the likes of Morgan Rogers and Buendia and Jadon Sancho to get on the counter-attack. Bensalem with a good ball over the top to Thiago Santos, who's forward again. Buendia was appealing for handball, and then Buendia seemed to shove Santos in the back there. The referee had a good view of it. I think he's got down a little easily, but it's always risky, isn't it, when you lay hands on a player's back inside your own penalty area?
Yeah, he went down very easily. Thiago Santos there, the right back, too easily. Referee wasn't having any of that whatsoever, quite rightly.
Lille have won 3 of their 5 Europa League home ties this season, including in the playoff. They had to come past Red Star Belgrade, having finished just outside the automatic place. Well, they finished down in 18th place, actually. Villa second behind Lyon. Lille have had 55% possession as we tiptoe towards the halfway stage of this first half. 0-0 the score. You're listening to TalkSport 2 coming up later. Crystal Palace against Larnaca. Larnaca have already beaten Palace in the Conference League this season. Palace out for revenge in the first leg of their knockout tie. As Douglas Luiz, the pint-sized Brazilian, comes forward over halfway for Aston Villa. Out to the right of Bogart. Rogers hugging that far touchline. Then back to the captain for the evening, Ezri Konsa, John McGinn. Fit enough for a place on the bench, having not featured since mid-January. Matty Cash not part of the travelling Aston Villa party tonight, hence the fact Bogart is in at right full-back. Here's Konsa, who plays it out to the aforementioned Dutchman. Good ball into the area, looking for Watkins, who lets the ball drop over his shoulder. Well, he's got a corner out of it, I think, but does a fully confident Ollie Watkins try and take on the shot there?
I think he's probably always struggling to... It looks like actually he hits Ollie Watkins on the back of the head. Yeah,
does goal kick, the decision
does go out
end.
for a goal kick, but yeah, I think he was always struggling there, Crookie. I think to give himself the space to try and hit that on the volley. Little clip ball into the gully for him, but remember it was who got close to him, and in the end the ball just hitting Watkins and going out for a goal kick. But I think Lille look very conservative so far, and I think if Villa want to expand, they can.
Well, here's Douglas Luiz on the edge of the penalty area, gets his shot away, right-footed coming in from the left-hand side, blocked by Mbemba, but he had acres of space initially, and there were options left and right as Villa came forward. I agree with you. I think if they just impose themselves a little bit more,
I agree,
they might get some joy against this Lille side.
I think so. I don't think, from what I've seen in the opening stages, I think Lille are very wary of Aston Villa. They're not really throwing any men up to support Giroud enough. I think Villa can find ways to create chances here.
Here's Luca Digne looking to do just that, crossing from the left-hand side. Just evades Buendia, waiting in the centre, but he might get another go here. Luca Digne, forced back towards halfway by Macau, and then Pau Torres The tall central defender, the Spaniard, takes over. Torres now in possession of the left-back position, forward down the line to Digne.
It's well played. Yeah, just Pau Torres doing well there. He was a square ball knocked to him. He did well to actually keep it in from going out for a throw-in. Ball back with the goalkeeper, Emi Martinez. Villa, for the first time, I think, in this opening 25 minutes now, just starting to assert a little bit more authority, looking forward a wee bit more.
Here's Buendia, out to Luca Digne down the left-hand side. 26 minutes gone, 0-0 Villa 0. Buendia off balance, but still manages to play the ball forward to Jadon Sancho, and then Douglas Luiz picks out Bogard down the right-hand side. Now Torres, well forward from the back. His pass was asking a lot of Morgan Rogers, and the ball, I think, flicked up and hit Rogers on the arm. It's going to be a free kick, and he's got a frustrated look on his face. The England international clearly swept the ball away with his left hand.
Just again, he's in that area where there's a lot of other opposing players around him, Morgan Rogers, and his greatest strength is once he gets past that first challenge, once he goes beyond that and starts to really get into his stride, you can't stop him, honestly. He's so strong and powerful. But in that 10 position, you've got to be your first touch has got to be faultless. If it's not good enough, the ball will get away from you and your opponent will pick it up.
It's a conundrum, isn't it, for Thomas Tuchel when it comes to Morgan Rogers, because I think he's very much in the conversation for that number 10 position, but speaking to a lot of Aston Villa fans, and you obviously concur, he tends to do his best work when he's coming in from the left-hand side.
I think so. I think that would be his best position, personally, in an England shirt.
And Morgan Rogers there with a precision pass for Watkins. Beautiful through ball. Watkins on the edge of the penalty area, trying to get the ball on his right foot as he looked to cut it back. Sliding in was Mondi. It's going to be, I think, an Aston Villa corner, although he's trying to claim Mondi that the ball ricochets back off Ollie Watkins.
Again, nice ball from Morgan Rogers to Ollie Watkins. He's running towards the edge of the 18-yard box, taking the red shirts on. Just needs to be a little more positive, I think. The Villa striker didn't really get a shot away, but settles for a corner.
28 minutes played, Lille 0, Villa 0. The visitors with their first corner of the evening. Esri Konsa has come forward from the back, so too Pau Torres. And Luca Digne very carefully just placing the ball down over on the right-hand side. They've got Anana against his former club, who's very decent in the air as well. So plenty of options here if Luca Digne can get the delivery right. He doesn't. It's a really poor ball. Stabbed away at the corner of the 6-yard box by Mondi.
Yeah, that's a bit of a waste. And Luca Digne first to put his hand up and apologise, because those set plays could be very useful. Again, it doesn't look like the tallest team that I've ever seen, this Lille team tonight. Giroud obviously always been a handful in the air. He'll lend his height and presence defensively as well, but Villa have got a lot of good height in the team. You think of Anana, you think of Rogers, the two centre-halves.
Anana, lovely ball over the top, looking for Ollie Watkins. He couldn't quite get there on the edge of the penalty area. Had he have done, I think the goalkeeper, Oza, may have had a problem because he was a long way off his line. He manages to collect the ball and then bowls it out here to Macau on the right-hand side for Lille. Half an hour gone, 0-0. And Macau dispossessed by the tall figure of Amadou Onana, and Onana's continued his run here to the edge of the penalty area, looking for Watkins on the far post. That was a really important challenge by Mondi. Diverts the ball behind for a corner. Had he have not got there, then Watkins would have had a tap in.
Yeah, good play that from Villa. Really nice work from Onana. Tries to find Ollie Watkins. The ball actually was a good one. It was very well defended at full stretch to go out for a corner on the far side. But the last 15 minutes it's been all Villa. They have been far more progressive. They're getting the forward boys involved a lot more, and you get the feeling, Crookie, that if they continue in this vein, that a goal won't be far away.
Yeah, 15 minutes to go until half time. There are one or two things being thrown, objects onto the field as Luca Digne prepares to take this corner from the left hand side. I think they're no more sinister than balls of paper, in fairness. Digne's delivery His last dead ball wasn't great. It's slightly better, but still dealt with at the near post by Perrault. And then Perrault playing it forward, down the left-hand side, looking for the run of Perron. Bogard gets there first and plays it back to Emi Martinez, all in yellow, the Aston Villa goalkeeper tonight. 31 gone, 0-0. A reminder, this game brought to you in partnership with TNT Sports, the home of European football. What will Unai Emery be thinking, Andy Townsend, half an hour in?
I think that it's been pretty much just as he would have hoped it would have gone. Villa, I think, are in total control of what's happening right now. It's Konsa and Pau Torres closer to the halfway line than Mbemba and Mondi up the other end. So I think he'd be very pleased with what he's seeing. Emi Martinez hasn't had to put his gloves on anything at all yet. And I get the feeling that now Rodgers, Watkins and Buendia, I think if they take a bit of care, those three, they can produce something.
This is Ezri Konsa, the Aston Villa captain, just shy of the halfway line. Good ball forward to Rodgers, who takes the pass neatly in his stride, then plays it forward to Buendia on the edge of the area. He can't bring it under control. It's cleared away by Thiago Santos, but Villa have it back straight away with Douglas Luiz. Douglas Luiz, who started the season playing in this competition for Nottingham Forest, before cancelling his loan there from Juventus and returning to Villa Park in January. So too Tammy Abraham amongst the Villa subs tonight, a bench that also includes the club captain John McGinn. For those of you just joining us on TalkSport 2, McGinn back in the Aston Villa squad for the first time since mid-January. Good ball forward there by Giroud, and Perrault seemed to time his run to perfection, and what a chance for Macau. 12 yards out, side foot's wide, and belatedly actually the offside flag does go up against Perrault.
Yeah, I thought Perrault actually always was, and he is. He's about 2 yards offside. High and wide down the left-hand side. Great cut back to Macau, left foot, and he's only about a foot wide of the post with the shot. Had it have gone in, of course, VAR would have seen that Perrault was a couple of yards offside. The linesman's flag went up straight away. I do hope one day we go back to changing crookie when someone's blatantly 2 or 3 yards off and the flag goes up straight away, rather than having to wait all the time for that passage of play to finish before a flag eventually goes up.
Because it looked pretty clear, didn't it, to the naked eye that Perrault was the wrong side of the last Aston Villa defender. He started well, Perrault, on that left-hand side.
He's probably been their most prominent player, the left full-back. I think he's done well.
Had a handful of games in the Premier League for Southampton before returning to his homeland. Here's Emi Martinez, making his 5th European appearance this season. They've sort of rotated between him and Marco Bizot during the league phase, but you'd imagine that Martinez will very much be the number one moving forward. As Nabil Bentaleb wins possession back for Lille and immediately plays in Macau down the right-hand side. He wants it back on the edge of the area. Bentaleb with a left-footed shot hits Pau Torres, and then it was awkward for Bogard with 2 Lille players closing it down to make the clearance. Then Perrault claims he was dragged to the ground by Jadon Sancho. Referee says play on, and Onana, stretching those long legs, will come forward now deep into the Lille half. In the right-wing position, the Belgian. Forward to Morgan Rodgers. Rodgers with a chance maybe to get a cross in here from down by the right corner flag. Instead he rolls it back for Bogard. Bogard goes down inside the penalty area. Well, the referee was in close proximity and waved away what were half-hearted appeals from Villa for a spot kick, as Ezri Konsa then slides in to dispossess Haraldson. Plenty of white shirts forward here. Lille nil, Villa nil. Buendia just outside the penalty area. Plays it out to Luca Digne. And now Douglas Luiz from 30 yards thought about the shot, instead just rolls it back into midfield for Konsa. VAR will be checking that last incident, but it just seemed to me, Andy, a tag on the legs.
No, I thought so too.
Digne, decent cross into the penalty area, flying header away by Mondi, and then Haraldson able to squeeze his pass out to Thiago Santos on this right-hand side. Just for the last few minutes, the game seems to be opening up a little.
Yes, it has. I think Lille, again, I watched them moments ago down the right side, getting into a good position with Macau. Put the ball in the box. You've got Olivier Giroud standing in there. Someone that you know is really good in the air, can finish first time. Instead of that, they came inside, overplayed, overpassed, and gave the ball back to Aston Villa. I think they need to sort their attacking intent out, the home team. But again, Villa, if they just find that right pass, take that bit of care, 35-40 yards from Lille's goal, they'll score.
Yeah, Bogard there going down inside the penalty. I think he actually tripped on the ball as he looked to get the better of Perron.
He's looking. I think actually the contact was initiated by Lamar Bogard there.
2 attempts for Lille, 1 for Aston Villa over the course of this first half so far, but 0-0 on the score sheet as Ollie Watkins tries to hold the ball up just inside his own half and then drew the foul. He had 4 Lille players trying to wrestle the ball away from him. It was Andre, the skipper, who went diving into the challenge. Ollie Watkins has scored 8 goals, all in the Premier League this season, but certainly not as prolific as he has been in recent campaigns. I think he probably will be Harry Kane's understudy at the World Cup still.
Yeah, I'm not sure really who else there is in that respect, Crookie. But yeah, he's found it a bit difficult lately.
It's a concern for England, I think, moving forward. No obvious successor to Kane ahead of the World Cup and moving on to future tournaments. That's a topic of debate actually in our Fiery Friday podcast that comes out tomorrow. Myself, Adrian Durham and Angelina Kelly putting the world to rights. I think Danny Welbeck and Dominic Calvert-Lewin, the joint highest scoring Englishman in the Premier League, but neither in the first flush of youth.
No. I mean, really, you're looking for someone. I mean, Harry Kane will probably go to the World Cup, I think, as the most informed striker in the competition.
But what about the next one? Here's Thiago Santos down the right-hand side, can't keep the ball in play. And when you go back to the 90s, Andy, when you were playing, the likes of Andy Cole, Ian Wright, Les Ferdinand.
Yeah, England had tons to choose from.
Couldn't really get in the England team.
No.
They'd walk into it now, wouldn't they? Certainly walk into the squad.
Yeah.
Here's Douglas Luiz, good ball out to the Villa right-hand side. Bogard's got some green grass to run into, and there he quickly makes his way to the edge of the penalty area. Again, we're going to guide the cross in towards Watkins, and I've got to say, Issa Mondi, the Algerian, again had his positioning foot perfect there to make the clearance. He's had a good game.
Yeah, nice run that from Bogard down the right, but it's just that final ball, it's that final pass for Villa. That's just what they need to brush up on, and that's a sign of a team that's been suffering a bit lately, but their all-round shape has been pretty good, but it's just lacking that bit of care and bit of confidence, I think, where it really matters now.
Olivier Giroud with the ball out to the left-hand side. 0-0 Villa 0. 39 minutes on the clock. We expected a cagey, low-scoring affair, and that's what we're getting at the moment. Although Harrelson taking a chance there on the edge of his own penalty area, under pressure from Rodgers and from Douglas Luiz, manages to keep the ball. Villa have got it back now with Pau Torres just inside their own half of the field, away to our right, with 6 minutes the first half to play. You're listening to Talk Sport 2. Coming up later, Palace Larnaca from the Conference League, live from Selhurst Park. And over on Talk Sport, we've got Forest Midtjylland in this competition. Forest and Villa on the same side of the draw. If they both were to go through, they would meet in the semi-finals, the two Midlands rivals. And I would suggest that Forest's priorities may be going to be elsewhere in the final weeks of the season. Douglas Luiz forward to Buendia. Rodgers thought about the shot, does shoot from 25 yards out, over the crossbar, tries to claim a deflection. Goal kick is the call from the referee. Not sure that taking on the shot from there was necessarily the best of calls.
Yeah, on his left foot there, Morgan Rodgers. He wants a corner. He says it definitely gets deflected. Shaking his head because he didn't get the decision. But we're 40 minutes into this first half. I think Lille are ordinary, and I think if Villa can find another 20% from anywhere in the second half, they will definitely score here tonight.
Late challenge there on Thiago Santos. It's going to be a free kick for Lille, and the referee wants to have a word here with Emi Buendia. I've got to say, I think he's officiated well so far. Jose Maria Sanchez from Spain. That wasn't a great challenge from Buendia on the Achilles of Thiago Santos on his near side.
Yeah, and he hasn't got back up on his feet yet. I agree with you, Crookie, about the ref. I think we don't want a fussy one. You get referees that are so fussy, giving every little nudge here and there, then the game becomes so fragmented and slow. He's tried to allow things to move on.
He is back on his feet now, Thiago Santos, just trying to run off the effects of that rather crude challenge from Emi Buendia, who has been known to pick up the odd yellow card during his career, the fiery South American. Here's Nabil Bentaleb, deep inside the Lille half, 0-0 into the final 4 minutes of the first half on TalkSport 2. And struggling to think Andy really ever saved that either goalkeepers had to make.
No, I don't think there's been one. No, I think Villa have looked the more likely, but again, it's just that they've lacked that precision and care just in the final ball.
Lille have it, but Aston Villa, with everybody in white back behind the ball, certainly been very defensively organised. Unai Emery's men who've won only one of their last 7 domestic games, lost 4 of those, including that chastening defeat at home to Chelsea last time out. Romain Perraud with a cross into the penalty area, but over the head of Giroud and heading clear by Pau Torres. Morgan Rogers giving it away rather cheaply, and here is Thiago Santos now forward to Harrelson inside the Villa penalty area. He's got a lot of white shirts around him, so he plays it back to Thiago Santos, and then the ball scooped over the top for the Portuguese to run onto. Good ball to the near post and headed right across the face of goal by Giroud.
Yeah.
Well, that might just be the best chance we've had.
Best bit of play certainly from the home team. Really good work from them. And it was some nice combination play from Harrelson, Andre. Thiago Santos, the right back, gets on the end of a little 1-2. On the half volley, whips it towards the near post. Giroud gets across the front of Ezri Konsa, but surprisingly, having got there, he doesn't get the header on target. I think he should have done better there.
Well, I think he thinks he should have done better as well, just looking at the expression on the face of the former Arsenal and Chelsea number 9 on a night when chances have been and probably will be right to the end at a premium. That was certainly a very good one for a striker of the pedigree of Olivier Giroud. 0-0 with 2 first half minutes to play.
Yeah, and a little warning for Villa there, that if they sit off and don't apply pressure, then this Lille team might create something just to punish them. But just got to make sure now, Villa, this last couple of minutes, they don't give anything silly away.
Well, Pau Torres has just given the ball away cheaply, and Perraud lets fly from a long way out. It was an awkward one for Martinez. He could only really push it back out into the danger zone, and Villa get it clear before Giroud could get onto the rebound. Good spell at the end of the half from Lille, though, and here's an opportunity to get a cross in again towards the far post where Thiago Santos was lurking. Luca Digne takes no chances, heads it behind for a corner.
Yeah, really good strike from Perraud. I think he's been their most prominent player. Both fullbacks actually have played quite well for Lille, but that was a good shot, a good 25 yards out on the angle, dipping just in front of Emi Martinez. Goalkeeper made the save, but the ball just dropped loose for a split second, and Pau Torres was there just to boot it away.
Lille's second corner of this first half. No goals yet, but Aston Villa having to defend late in the first half. Perraud with the delivery, flicked away by Ezri Konsa. Perraud's going to shoot again here from a long way out. That's not as good an effort. He balloons it high over the bar and it stays goalless.
Yeah, that's a really poor decision from Perraud there. On his left foot, yeah, but when he steps inside on his right and took the shot from about 22, 24 yards out, it was always going to end up going over the bar. Problem here for Andre, there's the central midfielder.
Yeah, the captain is down his haunches and may need some treatment during the interval. I wonder if he just got caught in the face there. The wrestling going on with Pau Torres. There wasn't anything too untoward, Andy.
No.
Looking at the replay.
It's just the usual amount of pushing and pulling and grappling that we see from every corner across all of Europe nowadays. Referees got to have eyes everywhere and they can't do it.
The only place we've had goals in the first half is in Germany. Stuttgart 1, Porto 2. A reminder, Porto on Aston Villa's half of the draw, as Ollie Watkins plays the ball out to Sancho. We're into the first of 2 added minutes at the end of the first half. Sancho into the penalty area. It's a terrible cross. He had 3 players waiting in the centre, Jadon Sancho, and he's put it over the heads of them all. Out for a throw.
Yep, hasn't really got involved enough, Jadon Sancho.
Story of the season? Is that harsh?
Yeah, no, it's not. He's had flashes. There have been times when he's come onto the field and he's looked quite dangerous, but it's just the belief he lacks to me. There's clearly a talented boy in there. I'm not sure how strong and I think physically could be better, but he's still yet to really tap into the talent that he has. I think he's got to demand more from himself.
Lille 0, Aston Villa 0. We are into the last 45 seconds of stoppage time. Lille, who have a pretty lamentable record against English opposition, won just 3 of their previous 19 such encounters, including that Intertoto Cup victory here against tonight's opponents. As Ollie Watkins picks up possession in the right wing, his pass forward is blocked out for a throw-in by Perrault, and Villa might get one last opportunity to get the ball into a decent position. Watkins in space on the edge of the penalty area, tries to stand up the cross for Emi Buendia, but it's headed clear by Mbemba. And back now inside the centre circle is the captain, Konsa. Last few seconds of what's been a pretty defence-minded first half in Northern France. Morgan Rogers trying to change that, down by the right corner flank. Good footwork from Rogers, gets away from a couple of challenges. He's into the area now, Rogers. He tried to play it back for Onana. Olivier Giroud it was who stabs it clear. We've gone over the 2 added minutes. Jadon Sancho forward to Rogers. Rogers in the penalty area, gets his shot off. Took a deflection, I think. Rogers is convinced of that, but the referee, I think, is going to blow for half-time anyway. So Villa trying to finish the half with a throw-in, but the best opportunity, I think, was the header across the face of goal from Olivier Giroud. On a night so far, Andy Townsend, with neither goalkeeper has really had cause to get the gloves dirty.
No, not at all. Villa have had good possession of the ball. I think midway through that half, after the first 15 minutes, I think they really got into their stride and always looked the more likely. And then Lille, to their credit, just that last 7 or 8 minutes, just started to find something from somewhere. Couple of moments, couple of corners, that Giroud header, the shot from Perrault, and all of a sudden they just got a little lift from that. But from what I've seen so far, it's about right, 0-0, and I do honestly think that there's goals here for Villa, but they do need to be better right at the top of the field.
Well, what's interesting at half-time, Andre, the captain, is still not moving freely. He's flanked by the 2 physios. I'm not sure he'll come back out for the second half.
I agree with you, Alex. I don't think he will. I think he's shaking his head. I think he knows the armband's coming off as we speak. There's a disconsolate, dejected sort of appearance about him. He's not going to figure for the second half. He looks like he's pulled his groin or something like that, and so they're going to have to make an alteration there.
Yeah, that is a significant setback for the home sides. Well, Aston Villa, I think they would take a point away tonight heading into the second leg at Villa Park, but that first 45 minutes hasn't done much to solve the goal drought that is undermining their quest for a place in the top 5 in the Premier League. Half-time here in Northern France. It is Lille 0, Aston Villa 0. You're listening to the Europa League live on TalkSport 2 with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Here for it. Book Europe at enterprise.co.uk. Stick with us, because after the break we'll bring you second half live coverage of Lille against Aston Villa.
Online, on DAB+, and on the app.
This is TalkSport
2. Europa League live on TalkSport 2 with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever it is, we're here for it.
Team, kick off at 3, yeah? On my way. I've just picked up my new Nissan Townstar. It's packed with safety features, goalkeeper vibes.
Showing off fans, are we? My Nissan Primastar's got 8.6 cubic metres of space, so loading up the footy gear now.
Thought this was a football chat. Try the all-new Nissan Interstar. Comes as a diesel or 100% electric with up to 285-mile range, like me up front. See you there.
Get ready to win with the Nissan Van range, all backed by a 5-year warranty and roadside assistance. Search Nissan Vans and visit your local local Nissan Van Centre today.
Warranty terms apply. 5 years or 100,000 miles, whichever comes first. EV range figures are for comparability purposes and may not reflect real driving results. Visit nissan.co.uk.
It's even bigger than that full house decorating job you've got on. Oh, that 30-foot high ceiling you've got to paint. It's the Johnston's Decorating Centre Big Sale event with huge savings and multi-buy deals like Cover Plus Vinyl Matte, 10 litre Brilliant White or Magnolia, any two for £70. And don't forget to ask what you get free when you buy 3 on selected lines. So get to your local Johnston's Decorating Centre now or visit johnstonsdc.com. T's and C's apply. Prices exclude VAT at 20%.
At AJ Bell, we believe investing is for everyone, even people who know nothing about investing. Like Keith, who thought dividends were a boy band. Jessica, who thought compound interest was a prison dating app. And Sue thought FTSE 100 was a bit of under-the-table fun, which surprised her accountant.
Oh, no.
If we can make investing feel good for them, it's no wonder Which have recommended us 7 years running. AJ Bell, feel good investing. The value of your investments can go up or down.
Who are you going for at the Cheltenham Festival?
The favourite.
The favourite.
The favourite, without a doubt.
This Cheltenham Festival, everyone's going for the free favourite pull-out in the sun. It's jam-packed with top tips and form guides for all the runners and riders. And a free £5 in-shop bet with Coral each day of the festival. Get your copy of the favourite every day only in the sun. T's and C's apply. 18 plus only. Gambleaware.org.
We all love a good meal, but there's no feeling quite like cooking one. Whether it's everyone at yours for a Sunday roast or after-school sausage and mash. Quick, simple, gone in minutes. One thing brings it all together. Ah, Bisto. The original gravy. Rich, smooth, and unmistakable since 1908. When the gravy makes the dish, make the gravy. Ah, Bisto.
Crayola has landed on Planet Happy Meal, so explore your little astronaut's imagination and see where their creativity takes them. From colouring to creating, the sky's the limit. So reach for the stars. Some fun, some food, it's all inside this Happy Meal. Until 23rd of March from 11 a.m. Includes one pre-selected book or toy, whilst Crayola range comprises toys only, while stocks last.
TalkSport 2 is your dynamic destination for all the latest sporting action. Featuring live commentary of all the biggest events, including football, PGA golf, horse racing, Premiership rugby, cricket, boxing, and all the big-hitting drama of the NFL. Touchdown! Plus, TalkSport 2's official betting partner, William Hill, is always on hand with the insight and in-depth analysis you need. TalkSport 2 with official betting partner, William Hill. 18 plus, gambleaware.org.
TalkSport 2. Traffic and travel.
Good evening. If you're heading up the M6 towards Birmingham, just beware. Just after junction 5, that's the Castle Bromwich exit. The inside lane on that 4-lane stretch is blocked off. They're recovering a van that's broken down as we speak. And between England and Wales, the M48 Severn Bridge remains shut both ways due to the strong winds, long queues over the Prince of Wales Bridge and on surrounding routes, avoiding. And in North London at Finchley Central, Gravel Hill is shut northbound off Regent's Park Road for emergency repairs. I'm Johnny Ratner.
They're under starters' orders and they're off to the Cheltenham Festival on TalkSport and TalkSport 2.
All the atmosphere direct from one of the highlights of the British racing calendar.
With over 50 hours of spectacularly live coverage throughout the week. Hear all 28 races live. Here we go! TalkSport Superstar Breakfast, live from Cheltenham.
What's that numpty?
Moxley and Jacobs.
The odds-on favourite in the afternoon.
Live from the festival.
Don't touch that dial. That's right. Never mind the fadlocks.
The Cheltenham Week Extravaganza.
Throughout the week, live from Cheltenham on TalkSport and TalkSport 2.
Kickoff. King of football commentary. Kickoff. Live on TalkSport 2.
The fear of losing is well worse and the pain of losing is well worse than the joy of winning.
I'm just raring to go, mate. Another world title shot. Chance to become a 2-time world champion is just insane to me.
Jezza Dickens!
Left hand there for Dickens, solid left hand. Oh, he's got him here. And Badingatiev is all over the place here.
Am I fighting not to lose or am I just trying to win, you know what I mean? I hate to lose, it's the worst thing in the world.
He's a great fighter. I think that this is going to be easily my hardest fight to date.
Anthony, the Apache Papachi!
Jazz is a WBA world champion. That's something we all dream of.
Getting my arm raised in the pre-arena will be a special night for me.
Yes, live boxing returns to the TalkSport network this Saturday as Jazza Dickens and Anthony Kakesi fight for the WBA World Super Featherweight title in Dublin. Our expert team will bring you closer to the action than anywhere else throughout a busy fight week. And don't forget, you can watch along with us from ringside on the night. That's live world title boxing this Saturday, live on the TalkSport network and TalkSport Boxing YouTube channel from 7 p.m. As for now, you are listening to live commentary of Lille against Aston Villa. This Europa League is brought to you in partnership with TNT Sports, the home of European football. For now, though, let's look ahead to the European games coming up for the British sides. In competition today, Nottingham Forest welcome Danish club Midtjylland to the City Ground. They'll be out for revenge against the visitors after suffering a shock 3-2 home defeat in the league phase in October under one of their many former managers, Ange Postecoglou. The current Forest boss, Vitor Pereira, he's been speaking ahead of this game and has set a challenge for his team for the rest of the season.
I challenge, for now, we'll try to be competitive in both in Europa League and try to get points and to results in our league.
That's Vitor Pereira looking ahead to Nottingham Forest at home to Midtjylland. On paper, Andy, it looks like a very winnable game, but they probably thought that in the league phase as well.
Yeah. Look, at the moment for Forest, victories aren't easy to come by, but it will be certainly welcome. I mean, it really would. It's a home tie. They've got to look to be positive. The first leg in European games, Crookie, is always tricky. It is, because particularly if you're at home, because of you have that need, that want to have an advantage before you start the second game. But also, you also know if you're too cavalier, then you can get done and then give yourself a mountain to climb. So you've just got to try and strike the right balance. I think there have been some signs under Vitor Pereira since he's been at Forest that there's been an improvement. Now they've got to go and start turning that into some victories, not only in Europe, but obviously, of course, in the league too.
Yeah, I mean, just on that Premier League survival fight, good point, twice behind against Manchester City in their last league game. That kept them above the bottom three. Would you make them favourites at the moment, ahead of West Ham and even Tottenham to stay up?
Yeah, I do. I think I do. I think out of everybody at the moment, it's Spurs. I really, really think that.
And of course, they face Tottenham in a couple of weeks' time.
I was going to say, where is that one? Do you know where that one is?
It's at Spurs.
It's at Spurs, which is more of an issue for them right now. Tottenham are the team, I think, that are all over the place from top to bottom, and they're the team that I would fear for more than any of them to be right down there with Wolves and Burnley.
Yeah, Nottingham Forest in action against Midtjylland. That game live on TalkSport, 8 o'clock kickoff this evening. Straight after us here on TalkSport 2, Crystal Palace continue their historic European adventure in London. They're also out for revenge, having lost to the Cypriot club Ike Larnaca earlier in the competition. The visitors have a new manager in Emmanuel Idiakes, and Palace boss Oliver Glasner has admitted he's not entirely sure what to expect.
We already watched his former team, how he played with them, so we don't know how much he's gonna change within 2 days or 3 days. So that's the question we have, but on the other side, the focus was on us, on our performance, what we want to do.
That's Oliver Glasner looking ahead to Crystal Palace against Larnaca, live here on TalkSport 2 from the Conference League. And well, Palace's European form to me, Andy, has been a bit underwhelming so far. Lost at home to Larnaca, couldn't beat Coops in the last league game.
Correct.
When they really needed to win to avoid the playoff, and even made a little bit of hard work of that.
Yeah, and again, look, their problems have kind of been self-inflicted with the Glasner scenario a few weeks ago when that sort of erupted a wee bit. So I watched them against Macclesfield, and it was astonishing that day. And I remember, I've got this thing with Oliver Glasner. He's one of these coaches. There's a few of them out there that are always turning around at the bench behind them with their arms held out wide, as if to say, I'm trying to perform miracles with this lot behind me. It's almost like he's critical, I think, of the group of players that he's got now, that he's ended up with. And so that scenario is not a good one. I don't think that the vibe is absolutely right at Palace. Hasn't been for a good few weeks. and it might be something like that spirit that catches up with them in the end.
But would you expect them to get a much better result tonight than they did last time out against Larnaca?
You'd like to think so. Not quite sure really what you're going to get from a Palace team at the moment, and I don't think Glasner is either. Probably the fans go into most games shrugging their shoulders, expecting and hoping for a performance maybe, but not really convinced they're going to get it.
Well, he made changes in that last game under the lights against Larnaca, and of course they were well beaten. He's made 2 changes tonight, I can tell you. Oliver Glasner. Maxence Lacroix is back from suspension, so he replaces Chadi Riyad, and Brennan Johnson also starts in place of the injured Daniel Munoz. So it's pretty much Palace's strongest available team.
Yeah, Daniel Munoz. So is Brennan Johnson in as a replacement?
As a wing-back, I think.
As a wing-back. Wow. I mean, Brennan Johnson, again, from what I haven't seen him produce an awful lot yet in a Palace shirt. Not really witnessed that. Lacroix coming back in with his height and his presence is always important, but look, they're at home and this is a game that they have to believe they're going to have way too much for their opponent and get the job done.
Yeah, just looking at how the team is reading, I think it will be Henderson in goal, Richards, Lacroix and Canvo as the central defenders, Mitchell and Johnson as wing-backs, Wharton and Kamada in midfield, and then Sarr and Gesson behind Strand Larsen. So I think he's going to play wing-back, Brennan Johnson.
Looks like it. Well, I don't think Brennan Johnson went to Crystal Palace to play to operate as a wing-back, but if that's where he finds himself tonight, then he's got to just do his bit for the team, get up and down that right side.
John-Philip Mateta back on the bench as well. Be interesting to see what sort of reception he gets from Palace fans if he comes on, because of course he was desperate to leave on deadline day.
I think his intent has been, I think everyone's well aware of where his intentions lie. He wants to move on. So you're right, we'll see what sort of reception he gets.
Yeah, that game live here on TalkSport 2. Nigel Adderley and the former Palace midfielder Darren Ambrose will be your team at Selhurst Park. Same time, TalkSport, Forest Midtjylland, Sam Matterface and the former Scotland midfielder Charlie Adam calling that one. Half-time elsewhere in Europe tonight. Bologna 0, Roma 0, Lille 0, Villa 0. We're about to bring you the second half from that one. Panathinaikos 0, Real Betis 0 and Stuttgart 1, Porto 2. They're all scores in the Europa League at half-time. In the early kickoffs in the Conference League, RZ leads Sparta Prague by a goal to 0. Lech Poznan a goal down at home to Shakhtar. Rijeka 0, Strasbourg, Gary O'Neill Strasbourg 1 and Samsunspor 1, Raja Vallecano 2. The two sets of players are coming back out, Andy. I think there was an extended half-time break.
Yeah, they've had plenty of time, haven't they, to recover, recharge, have a rethink about what they're going to try and do for this second period. We've seen Olivier Giroud last one out for his team onto the field. He had that really good situation, I felt. The cross was a good one from Thiago Santos. He got across the front of Ezri Konsa, got his head there first, 3 or 4 yards out, didn't hit the target, which unlike him, but that's about all that they really posed, really, Lille. I think Villa had good possession midway through the half, and again, if they can find a bit more where it matters at the top of the field, I think they'll win on the night. They really will.
And Lille are making the change that we anticipated. Their captain Benjamin Andre injured in the first half, not the way that he wanted to end his 50th European appearance for the home side, and coming on at half-time, Ayoub Bouadi is coming on in midfield in place of the skipper. That should also, Andy, give Palace some encouragement.
Yeah, give Villa some encouragement. It should do.
Sorry, Villa, yeah.
Yeah, it should do, because, again, Andre, if the skipper leaves the field, you'd think that they're going to be weakened by that, so Bouadi will want to get involved as early as he can. But again, big 45 for Villa.
Yeah, no change for the visitors, so they will start this second half with Martinez in goal, Bogard, Konsa, Torres and Digne the back four, Douglas Luiz and Amadou Onana in midfield, and then it's Sancho, Buendia and Rodgers behind Watkins up top. Olivier Giroud has just taken the captain's armband for the second half. Lille with Oza in goal, Thiago Santos and Mbemba, Mondi and Perrault the back four, Macau, Bouadi and Bentaleb now in midfield, with Perron and Haraldson up alongside Giroud in a three-prong attack. We are back underway on TalkSport 2. Aston Villa all in white, shooting from left to right in this second half. Lille red jerseys with the navy shorts and socks attacking the goal away to our left. And here is Ollie Watkins, right corner of the penalty area, trying to get the better of Perron, but they've won it back well, Lille, down by their own corner flag, and it's cleared up to the halfway line and collected by Pau Torres.
Yeah, so Villa have got to assert themselves once more. They just had a little rally, Lille, for 5 minutes before half-time, and just encouraged the crowd and got the atmosphere up a little bit. One or two little skirmishes and moments, so Villa just need to get back on the front foot, with Pau Torres in possession as we speak, 10 yards from the halfway line. That's where they'll want to stay.
Villa's only defeat in Europe this season was on their travels, a shock reverse away at go-ahead Eagles in the league phase. Apart from that, they've been pretty much perfect when it comes to this Europa League, and Emery bidding to win it for a 5th time as a manager. It's a throw-in for Lille, the ball just being dusted down by Romain Perrault, who impressed Andy Townsend in that first half, and he will try and just gain a bit of territory as Bentaleb from the throw half volleys it towards halfway, but won back by Jadon Sancho. Sancho with a chance to cross here from the right hand side. He's got 4 white shirts in the centre. Onana lurking on the edge of the penalty area. Bogard is the option that Sancho takes, and now he's got it back again, the Manchester United loanee. Back to Onana, and then Buendia looking for the little ball round the corner for Rodgers, but intercepted by Mondi, and then cleared over the halfway line. Ezri Konsa under no real pressure, just ciphers the ball back to Martinez in goal.
And I think the way that obviously Lille are operating with Giroud down the middle, he can't run Pau Torres or Ezri Konsa. So every time they clear the ball, Villa immediately get it back and are looking to get on the front foot once more.
Team who's in from the City ground as well, by the way. Quite a strong Nottingham Forest lineup. Gibbs White, Anderson, Igor Jesus, who scored so many goals in Europe, all star. Murray Hutchinson, who was really impressive as Forest beat Fenerbahce away from home in the playoff round. And Hudson-Odoi supplying the ammunition. Jer Cunha is in alongside Morato at the heart defence. They've got Murillo playing at left back by the look of things. That game live on TalkSport, an 8 o'clock kickoff. At the same time here on TalkSport 2 we'll have Palace against Larnaca in the Conference League. Good play that by Bogard, winning the ball high up the field into Morgan Rodgers, shifts onto his right foot. Rodgers, he slices the shot wide, looks up to the heavens in frustration, knows he should have done better. Morgan Rodgers, good play by Bogard, initially hassling and harrying and sliding in to regain the ball right on the edge of the area.
Certainly did, did really well there, Bogard. Good challenge, releases Morgan Rodgers about 35 yards out. He takes about 10 yards of that out with the ball at his feet, gets it onto his right foot just outside the box, but lashes it unfortunately well wide. But you don't mind that. Look, listen, that happens. It's the right idea, the right intent from Morgan Rodgers to take someone on and try and get the shot away. The shot was a wild, wasteful one, but forget that. There's another problem for Lille here.
Yeah, maybe another player who is feeling the effects of injury here. It's Gaëtan Perron, much like his captain, is holding his groin area. We'll keep an eye on that. We've played 4 minutes in the second half, 0-0, and looks like Lille, for the second time this evening, going to have to make an injury-enforced substitution. Mateus Fernandez Pardo, the Belgian, getting ready to come on, I think.
Yeah, that's annoying for Bruno Genesio so early in the second half to have to make another change. Made one at half-time and enforced one, obviously, with Andre.
Long ball forward by Aston Villa, picked up by Watkins inside the penalty area. Watkins still has the ball inside the 18-yard box, tried the shot, but it was well blocked by Mbemba and cleared away down the right-hand side by Macau. Lovely little poke forward from Giroud as well. Macau keeps it in play on the far side, then pirouettes away from the attentions of Luca Digne.
Did very well there, Macau. Excellent work from him.
Lille committing bodies forward. Little turn inside the centre circle by Bentaleb. And here is Perron on the near side, but how fit is he? Slammed his pass against Bogard, and then he's done really well, Bogard, to win it back on the touchline and find Ollie Watkins in the centre. Back to Bogard, 5 yards outside the penalty area. Bogard with a through ball, half cleared by Bouhaddi, then chipped forward back into the area by Douglas Luiz, but too far in front of Jadon Sancho, and Lille should be able to clear their lines. I say that, Douglas Luiz has got it back 10 yards outside the box. Here's Digne now. 51 on the clock, 0-0 on TalkSport 2 on this busy Thursday night in Europe. Little back heel forward to Buendia, not for the first time tonight. His pass, which looked a simple one to Morgan Rogers, is a poor one, and the referee is stopping play here because Lille have got a player in Perron down on the halfway line.
Yeah, he's been sat literally just in front of the technical areas, holding his groin, Perron, since for about 2 minutes. But good start again from Villa, but again they're just not connecting the dots where it really matters. Got to find those passes there.
Well, as this change is being made by the home side, let's get full Crystal Palace team news. Your match commentator at Selhurst Park is Nigel Adley. Good evening, Nigel.
Yes, good evening, Alex. Only 2 changes for Palace from the win over Spurs. One of those enforced. Daniel Munoz is injured. Brennan Johnson comes in as the right-sided wing-back, and Chadi Riyad drops to the bench. Maxence Lacroix is back from suspension, and Jean-Philippe Mateta is available once again. He is also on the bench. Full commentary alongside Darren Ambrose coming up at 8 o'clock.
Thank you very much, Nigel. Just confirming there, Brennan Johnson will indeed start as the wing-back for Crystal Palace, and confirmation of the latest Lille change, Mateus Fernandez-Pardo coming on for Gaëtan Perron. We played 7 minutes in the second half. It's still Lille 0, Aston Villa 0. Villa bidding, Andy, to win their first trophy since your playing days when they were League Cup victors back in 1996.
Yeah, virtually 30 years ago. I think it's coming up end of this month. Way too long. I do think this team are ready to win something. I do. I've felt that for a year now. But you've got to get over the line. They've got to make it happen. The team won't stay together forever. The manager won't stay at the club forever. And during this spell, you've got to make it work. You really have, where you've got good players. Yeah, they've got some injuries, but when they're at their best, Villa, they're a really good team, proper team. They really are a good team to watch. But just lately, it's been going a bit wobbly. They've got to make sure they get through this tie. They're more than good enough, even with what they've got, to overcome Lille.
You're listening to the Europa League live on TalkSport 2 with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever it is, they're here for it. Aston Villa still looking for the breakthrough goal in northern France, although a draw to take Lille back to Villa Park wouldn't be the worst result in the world. But what it doesn't do, Andy, is arrest that lack of wins in the Premier League, particularly in a week when they go to Old Trafford on Sunday.
Correct. We've got a tough one at the weekend, Inform United team. Well, listen, the objective, Crookie, obviously, get through the tie. And I think they've got plenty to do that here.
Sancho trying to play the ball forward.
Can you believe that ball?
To Ollie Watkins. And
can you believe how bad that ball is there?
Once again, it's just a really poor execution of the pass, and Lille able to clear when they really should have been under pressure. Here is Bouadi out to his left-hand side, and Fernandez-Pardo. Lille 0, Aston Villa 0. Fernandez-Pardo taking on Rogers, crossing into the penalty area, but straight into the arms of a grateful Emi Martinez.
But Olivier Giroud salutes the effort from Matias Fernandez there. But Jadon Sancho, they are 4-on-2 Villa there, and all he's got to do is roll a 10-yard pass to Ollie Watkins, and he gives it straight to a red shirt. And it's not good enough. They've got to sharpen up now. I'm fed up to keep on saying if they improve at the top of the field, they've got to make it happen at the top of the field. This game's there to be won for Aston Villa.
That's happened too often, doesn't it? What looks like a promising attack breaks down because the final ball is a poor one. As Pau Torres gives away possession cheaply, but it's won back well by Onana. Just took a kick for his troubles, and he's on his haunches a little bit inside the centre circle. Onana not moving very freely. Wonder if he got a kick in the stomach there as Ezri Konsa plays the ball back to Martinez in goal. And Onana now picks up possession just inside the D on the edge of the area. 0-0 between Lille and Villa, first leg of this Europa League round of 16 encounter. The referee is flagging or he's blowing because there was offside flag up against Ollie Watkins there. Gold Cup Day at the Cheltenham Festival tomorrow. Harry Redknapp's the jukebox man, one of the favourites to claim glory at Presby Park. You can hear all the action on the TalkSport network, H&J, as they have been all week, live from the course to bring you the first 5 races, including that mouth-watering Gold Cup. TalkSport 2's Racing Live brings you in-depth coverage of all 7 races from 1 o'clock. You can listen to all the shows via the TalkSport app, where you can swipe between TalkSport and TalkSport 2.
Yeah, now come on, I know you like your horses. What are you thinking for Harry tomorrow?
I don't think it will stay the trip, so right. I think I'm leaning towards Gaelic Warrior to avenge that defeat in the King George. Yourself?
Well, listen, I sincerely hope he does. I really
It's
do.
the story the punters want. I think.
It is. It's going to be a fascinating watch, that. And Harry will be all over the place, no doubt, watching that one.
Yeah, I think he's joining us on breakfast tomorrow, Brilliant. Harry Redknapp, so that will be a must listen. Here is Thiago Santos. Not mentioned him too much in the second half so far. He was very involved, wasn't he, the Portuguese, throughout that first period. But I think Villa have had much more of the ball since the restart.
And I think the importance, Crookie, of making things work at the top of the field. Otherwise, you encourage Lille to come and have a little bit of a go at you while it's still 0-0. I think Villa have had so many good situations, but have done nothing with it.
Here's Thiago Santos towards the penalty area. Stopped on the edge of that 18-yard box by Buendia. This is Fernandez Pardo. Has looked lively since coming on a few moments ago. Infield to Buadi. Buadi with a little scoop over the top, looking for Thiago Santos, headed clear by Digne and picked up by the Icelander Haraldsson. He's then dispossessed by Emi Buendia. Wants the throw in, Buendia, but he's gone the other way. Buadi back to Bentaleb, who's passed the ball around neatly from that deep-lying midfield position, the ex-Tottenham man. That's another disappointing ball into the penalty area. Lille guilty this time.
Olivier Giroud is not going to get on the end of that.
No, very poor from the home side.
You know, he doesn't want 15, 20-yard passes in between full-back and centre-half and trying to sprint and get on the end of them. He couldn't really do that in his pomp. That wasn't what he was about. What he does want is the ball into his feet where he can hang on to it and others can come and join in, and then he can spin off and get himself into a good position in the box.
Bologna have taken the lead against Roma, by the way.
Have they?
One of those teams lying in wait for the victor of this tie in the quarter-finals. Bologna won, Roma 0. As Andy mentioned, the first half, Villa beat Bologna pretty convincingly in the Champions League last season. Still Lille 0, Villa 0 here. Panathinaikos 0, Real Betis 0, and still Porto 2-1 up away from home in Stuttgart. We're going to have a stoppage in play here, because as Amadou Onana came sliding in to try and win the ball back, he's diverted it straight into the face of one of the Lille players.
Just seeing Onana there saying to Jadon Sancho, come on, you need a bit more, you've got to be a bit sharper with the ball at your feet. Take a little bit more care, it's breaking down on you too often. And he's right. Jadon Sancho immediately sort of held his hand up. I think because of lack of minutes, game time, whether it be here, United, Chelsea, wherever, confidence for Sancho is a real issue. He has had the odd 20 minutes in a Villa shirt, Crookie, where he's actually come on and made a difference in games and has looked really bright. But it's when he starts games you don't always quite see enough.
You wonder if Unai Emery will be contemplating making some tactical tweaks for this final half an hour, with half an eye on that trip to Old Trafford the weekend as well. Michael Carrick, no doubt, will be sat back at home watching this game. He will have hoped that Aston Villa were given a stiff examination. That certainly has been the case. I think for me the biggest takeaway from this first hour is the lack of quality in the final third from both teams. And already, with still half an hour to play, you feel one goal might just be enough either way. Here's Fernandez Pardo for Lille. Rolls it out to the edge of the penalty area, and Romain Perraud. And here is Bentaleb now, looking for Giroud. Good ball in, Giroud with a header. Straight into the arms of Martinez, and he may well have been in an offside position anyway.
Yeah, I think he might have been. Olivier Giroud, you can just see as this ball comes in, tight call.
It's very close.
Very close, actually. And the header he was struggling to get above that. He kind of just helped it on.
And there wasn't much power on the cross either, was there?
No, there
so
wasn't.
He's trying to generate his own power.
Correct. Wasn't a pacey delivery, and he's ended up, that's a very routine, comfortable save for Emi Martinez.
61 minutes gone, Lille 0, Aston Villa 0. This game brought to you in partnership with TNT as Ollie Watkins heads Aston Villa into the lead. Well, he needed that. Aston Villa needed that. It was a route one ball into the area. The goalkeeper, I think, got his positioning wrong, and Ollie Watkins, with a diving header over the top of the advancing Oza, gives Villa the lead. Lille 0, Aston Villa 1.
Oh, well, that's dream stuff for Ollie Watkins, because he's been desperate for a goal, and it really come out of absolutely nothing. Oza, the goalkeeper, I think is in no man's land. The ball was knocked up to the edge of the box from distance from Lamar Bogard. It's helped on actually by Emi Buendia, and then Ollie Watkins from above the penalty spot puts his head on this and loops it brilliantly, fully intended, over the top of the goalkeeper, who is stranded. It's a great goal.
Yeah, brilliant from Buendia to flick the ball on for Watkins, and he had the speed of mind there to know the goalkeeper was too far off his line, and sort of mid-air, hanging in the air, nods it over Oza and into the back of the net. The goalkeeper grasping at thin air. It's a 9th goal of the season for Ollie Watkins, and it gives Aston Villa a precious first leg advantage on a night when chances have been few and far between.
Yeah, very true. I'll tell you, Emi Buendia does great there. He might be the smallest player on the field, and when the ball's knocked 40 yards up in the air on the edge of the box, it's Chancellor Mbemba who challenges him and loses that duel. Buendia heads it into the box. As I mentioned, it's probably a yard above the penalty spot where Ollie Watkins makes contact, and he loops it over the top of the goalie, who he spots off his line. Really poor work from Ozer, and a soft goal for Lille to give away, but it's a great moment for Villa, that, 'cause it's the perfect start to the second half for them.
And on what we've seen in the first 63 minutes, Lille haven't really got the attacking weapons to hurt his Aston Villa side. Who knows? They might even go on to get a second now in the last 27 minutes as more changes are afoot from the home side.
Looks like Meunier there, coming on possibly as a sub.
Yeah, the veteran Belgian defender. There was some talk he might actually get the nod from the start tonight, but it looks like Meunier is being readied. Lille 0, Aston Villa 1 here. And that would be a confidence-boosting victory heading into the big game at Manchester United on Sunday as well. That race for the top 5 in the Premier League really hotting up. 5th should be enough to guarantee Champions League football next season, although the English teams didn't really help in that regard with results this week in Europe, as Olivier Giroud is penalised for a foul, and you can see the frustration, Andy, just starting to set in now for the home side, having fallen behind.
It's a good challenge on Ezri Konsa from Olivier Giroud. Ezri Konsa does have a habit sometimes of hanging on to the ball, and then when he's challenged, hitting the floor, looking for the free kick. That was one of those examples, actually. He's a bit fortunate to get that free kick there. It was his ball, actually. It was Konsa. I said it was Bogard. It was Konsa's ball served forward, which was a really good one to Buendia.
But really, Buendia, in that type of aerial duel against a central defender, should be second favourite. Here's Sancho. More space for Villa, opening up down the right-hand side. Sancho into the penalty area. Can he find the delivery this time? All the way along the 6-yard box, not fully clear yet. Rodgers with a shot blocked, and then Anana lets fly, and that isn't too far wide.
That wraps the crossbar. Great strike, lovely, better from Jadon Sancho, more positive. Initially, Morgan Rodgers has a strike. It comes out to Amadou Anana, who hits a big side foot from about 23 yards out, and it hits the outside of the post and crossbar where they meet. Very unlucky.
And had that found the top corner already in the tie, you would have felt it was a long way back for Lille. Thiago Santos is indeed replaced by Meunier, as Andy Townsend predicted. I think that's going to be part of a double substitution for the home side.
Well, Macau's going out as well, Cookie, and I actually thought he'd been one of their better players this evening.
And it's Felix Correa who is coming on, with Lille trailing by 1-0 here on TalkSport 2. Ollie Watkins with his first European goal of the season, and with the England squad to be announced next Friday, maybe a timely reminder to Thomas Tuchel. And Nana plays the ball back to Martinez. You feel it's just going to be about game management now, Andy, for your former club?
Yeah, it is. I actually think, Alex, that if they go for it here, Villa, they'll score again. I think they can get the nuts and bolts of this tie sorted this evening, I really do. Another one, and I just don't see Lille being able to produce anything with this group of players at Villa Park. So, yeah, they'll want to manage the situation, Villa. They'll try and draw Lille onto them, who have got to push and squeeze and now start to press, but there should be a lot of space at times now for Villa to pick their way through.
Maybe Buendia penalised for a foul just inside the Villa half of the field, just a little bit too strong as he went in for the challenge. The ball is played out down this left-hand side to Fernandez Pardo.
I actually think he's been sharp since he's come on, Crookie, Fernandez Pardo. Whenever he's got it, he looks like he's got some pace about him.
Looks more of an old-school winger than the player he replaced Perron. They might need that, Lille, if they're to get back in this game in the final 24 minutes. Romain Perraud with the ball into the area. Good header away by the Villa skipper, Concert. Sancho, that was a weak header as he looked to find Morgan Rogers. One back by Perraud. And a chance here for Lille to get the cross into the area. Giroud was the target at the far post. Concert nods it clear, and then Haraldson dispossessed on the edge of the area, and it's another route one ball, and Ollie Watkins is one-on-one with the goalkeeper. He goes round the goalkeeper.
Must be a penalty.
Was he brought down? Well, the referee, I think, has said goal kick. Ollie Watkins slaps the turf in frustration. I actually didn't think there was enough contact for a penalty. We'll watch it now. Brilliant ball from Douglas Luiz. He can't be offside,
no,
Watkins, because he starts to run inside his own half. He goes round the keeper, but the touch is heavy.
Do you know what he's tried to do, Ollie, there? He's hurdled the goalie. If he just lets his leg hit the goalkeeper, he gets a pen. The goalie has actually impeded Ollie Watkins, but hasn't thrown himself at him. Watkins has actually, very honestly, tried to hurdle him. If he just clatters into him, he gets a pen there.
He's almost too honest, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
Ollie Watkins.
He is. Yeah, without a doubt there.
But again, it showed how easily they found it, Villa, to get in behind this Lille defence. Very high line from the home side, and Watkins almost fully capitalised.
Yeah, Morgan Rogers having a chat with the referee as we speak, as the goalkeeper's receiving some treatment. And the referee immediately, you're right, Crookie, the referee immediately wasn't having it. He pointed for a goal kick. But, I mean, again, it's a great situation. Did Watkins have to go round the goalkeeper? Could he have tucked it past him? He went round the goalkeeper to his, which would have meant Ollie would have been on his left foot, never his strongest side. Watkins is actually talking to the referee again, saying that he probably did impede him, but he was too honest. He tried to hurdle over the top of the goalkeeper, caught the goalkeeper with his foot, but actually, I think the goalkeeper's a lucky boy.
And he had options, didn't he, Watkins? He could have lifted it over the on-rushing keeper, and he could have just tried to slot it past him.
Yeah, it's a great chance. And it should be 2-0, quite frankly. It should be 2-0.
He does look in a bit of distress here, Oza, the goalkeeper.
Looks like he's caught a knee or a boot on the side of the head.
Yeah, there might be a little bit of blood there. We're watching a replay now. I mean, he looks up to see where the goalkeeper is, Watkins, and then in that split second decides to try and round him. I mean, there is a clear coming together, but I think in trying to hurdle him, as you've said, Andy Townsend, he almost made up the referee's mind for him. 20 minutes to go.
Yeah.
Lille 0, Aston Villa 1, Watkins with the goal. But you wonder how big a spurned opportunity that could be come the end of this tie.
Well, it's a clever ball from Douglas Luiz. Ollie Watkins timed the run perfectly. They were ball watching a bit there, Lille, the two centre halves. Douglas Luiz just looped it down the middle, 40 yards. Watkins ran from a couple of yards inside his own half. He was through clean one-on-one. And really, despite probably being impeded, I think, was never probably going to get that pen, not enough contact. But it should be 2. He should have tucked that one away.
Roma have equalised against Bologna, all Italian tie. Winners of that game will play the winners of this one, 1-1 over in Italy. And Aston Villa leading against Lille here by a goal to nil. Here's Amadou Onana, the former Lille player, deep inside the Aston Villa half, forward to Watkins. First time layoff is to Buendia, who shifts it out to the left-hand side, and Luca Digne. Digne, midway inside the Lille half now, just rolls his foot over the ball, slows it down and plays it back into Douglas Luiz in midfield. And that enables the red shirts to get back behind the ball. Here's Onana though, forward to Watkins. Run ahead of him from Sancho, but well won back by Romain Perrault, and here is a chance for Fernandez Pardo to have a run at Bogard. He comes infield onto his right foot, needed to maybe move the ball quicker. He goes down under the challenge from Douglas Luiz, but the referee, as he has all night, tries to let the game continue, and then Douglas Luiz has found Watkins down the right hand side for Villa. Rodgers makes a dart to the near post, Douglas Luiz coming at the far stick, and it's well defended and cleared by Mounier out for a Villa corner.
Yeah, decent run actually, Douglas Luiz into the box there. Ollie Watkins was provider this time. He was out on the right side and he was looking to fire it across the 6-yard box. Morgan Rodgers had made a run to the near. Douglas Luiz arriving a little later behind him, but just couldn't get there.
Here's Ezri Konsa back towards the halfway line for Villa. 18 minutes plus stoppage time to play here. Lille 0, Villa 1 on TalkSport 2. Palace at home to Larnaca in the Conference League still to come. Over on TalkSport, meanwhile, we'll have Forest against Midtjylland. Oh, surely the offside flag's going to have to go up here as Lille play it over the halfway line, deep into Villa territory, and indeed, belatedly, the offside flag does go up against Felix Correa.
Yeah, well, that was blatantly offside. After Bentaleb played the ball forward, it was a good 3 or 4 yards offside, and again he's allowed to travel, scuff a shot before the offside flag actually goes up.
I mean, they're applying the protocol correctly, the officials, but it's so frustrating.
Oh, it is. It is when it's blatant like that.
Lille 0, Aston Villa 1. John McGinn is being ready to make his injury return. How timely for Villa, just when they need the points in the Premier League to stabilise themselves in the top 5, and as the Europa League reaches the business end.
Yeah, fantastic to see John back. He's such a key player for the Villa team.
Konsa into Morgan Rodgers, back towards his own penalty area. Rodgers finds Onana. Douglas Luiz forward to Jadon Sancho. It's a sloppy pass from Sancho. Pau Torres having to get there ahead of Felix, and he does so. Not sure he really wanted that one, Pau Torres. Throw in for Lille. Home side still trying to urge their team on here for an equaliser. 1-0 down, heading into the final 15 minutes or so. As Ollie Watkins is adjudged to have fouled Haraldson. Free kick taken quickly by the home team. Mounier forward down the right for Lille. Felix now into Bouadi. And Bouadi back towards the halfway line, and Chancellor Mbemba. Good spell of possession this for Lille. Can they turn it into a goal-scoring opportunity? Fernandez Pardo down the right-hand side into Haraldson. He's going to just roll the ball a few yards forward to Felix, back to Bouadia. But Villa holding their defensive line well here. Here's Fernandez Pardo though. Comes in field against Bogard and tries to curl a shot towards the left-hand corner of Martinez. Springs to that side and pushes the ball clear. Good effort from Fernandez Pardo.
It's funny because they offer very little, Lille, and then all of a sudden they just find a little bit of gas from somewhere, and that strike, from Fernandez Pardo there was a decent strike. Martinez was always going to save it, but it had to be saved.
We asked questions of the Aston Villa goalkeeper. Villa 1-0 up with 15 minutes to play, but a 1-0 lead is always a dangerous one. As Thomas Mounier plays it forward to Bouadi, and then Hanana having to come back and defend, can only divert the ball behind for Lille's first corner of this second half.
Actually, Thomas Meunier, since he's come on, has injected a bit of life down the right side.
Well, he's only just back from an injury layoff of 5 or 6 weeks, Meunier, hence the fact he didn't start the game tonight, but obviously was fit enough to come on for the final half an hour. It's a corner for the French host, their supporters bouncing in unison behind Martinez's goal. The corner will be taken from the right-hand side. No doubt Giroud, one of the main targets. Goes short, actually, to Felix. Felix's cross charged down by Digne, and that feels like a bit of a waste if you're a Lille supporter. Then Meunier can't bring it down on the edge of the area. Sancho half clear. Chancellor Mbemba doesn't look particularly comfortable in possession. I think he's done well to win a free kick there. Halfway inside the Villa half. Because he wasn't really going anywhere, was he?
No, he was going back actually towards his own half. It was the merest of taps on his... It's that annoying foul nowadays that we see so much of in modern day football, where there's literally a merest of taps on his boot. He goes down and he gets the free kick.
Well, we're going to see 2 Aston Villa changes. Ollie Watkins, scorer of the only goal, makes way for Tammy Abraham, who scored twice in his last 4 appearances since returning to Villa Park from Besiktas, and John McGinn is going in alongside Onana. Douglas Luiz making way. What a timely boost that is to have McGinn able to play the final 15 minutes, and probably Andy put himself in contention maybe to start at Old Trafford on Sunday.
Yeah, I would think so. I don't think it'll be long before John's back in there from the get-go. He's just a very, very good, very thorough all-round player, John McGinn. Knows the game inside out, leads the team well.
And it's been his absence coupled with that of Yuri Tillemans and, well, probably more importantly, Aboubakar Kamara, according to the stats anyway, that really has led to the poor run of form that Villa have had in the Premier League since the turn of the year. Bentaleb back into the centre circle, and Mbemba. Here is Meunier now in the bright yellow boots, racing down the right-hand side, looking to link up with Felix, who plays the ball against Luca Digne. They're claiming a handball, Lille. They've got the handball. It was from a yard out, I think, they smashed the ball against Digne's arm.
Well, it does give him a chance to whip a free kick in here, in between penalty spot and 6-yard line. That's the target. Don't get in there too soon. Don't go offside and relieve all the pressure.
So a free kick for Lille, just in from the far touchline, 7 yards shy of the penalty area. Felix is one of the players stood over the ball. Olivier Giroud loitering around about the penalty spot.
Bentaleb, I think, is going to whip it in with the left foot.
Yeah, Bentaleb certainly fancies this as well. Fernandez Pardo's in a bit of space on the far post if he gets that far. Felix feints across, then it is Bentaleb towards the penalty spot. Good header down and away by Pau Torres. Still Lille on the attack here. Perrault, that's not a bad ball, you know, to the edge of the 6-yard box. Nobody in a red shirt was in the vicinity, and in the end it goes tamely behind for a goal kick, and Perrault can't quite believe it. It's a brilliant ball in, Andy.
It's a decent ball in, that. Emi Buendia actually touches that. He blatantly touches that one and then hits the floor.
Well, has he given a free kick, the referee, for a push by Felix? I mean, that's in the other penalty area. He's not giving a penalty, is he?
Of course he's not. No, it's not a foul. Again, it's another one of those bonkers soft decisions that we see an awful lot of when there's just very, very minimal contact between players. But what it does do, it relieves all the pressure, gives Villa a breather, lets them get sorted.
Yeah, unless Lille can find an equaliser in the final 10 minutes plus stoppage time, looks like Villa will have a first leg lead to take back to Villa Park next week, live on TalkSport. And you would make them big favourites to book their place in the quarter-finals of this competition that Unai Emery really, in the last few seasons, has made his own, the Villa manager. 2-2 now, Stuttgart against Porto, still all square, 1-1 Bologna-Roma, and 0-0 Panathinaikos against Real Betis in the other early kickoffs in the Europa League. Foul by Bouadi on McGinn, and it's going to be a free kick for Villa inside the centre circle.
Yeah, and when you're one up, away from home. I mentioned that I think Villa are more than capable of getting a second. Been a little more spirit from Lille again the last 7 or 8 minutes, but I still think if Villa get another chance and they take it, I think they can get this tie sorted this evening.
Looks like that Stuttgart equaliser action has been ruled out, so it's still 2-1 to Porto over in Germany tonight. 1-0 Villa lead here. Haraldsson, slaloming run, but inside his own half, dispossessed by McGinn, who goes back to the centre circle, and Konsa forward to Jadon Sancho. Stepping into clear was Mondi, picked up by Bogard. 15 yards or so inside the Villa half, away to our left. Lille 0, Aston Villa 1 on TalkSport 2. Don't forget Palace Larnaca from the Conference League still to come here, and over on TalkSport it's Nottingham Forest at home to Midtjylland in the Europa League. At the moment, Villa doing what the likes of Chelsea and Manchester City were unable to do early in the week and come away from home in Europe with a positive result. Emi Martinez with the ball forward again. They've got runners in behind here. That was an important intervention by Mondi, but Rodgers keeps Villa on the front foot into Buendia. And Buendia with the acrobatic effort from 12 yards out and wide.
Could he have gone with his head? I wonder whether Emi Buendia should have headed this. I mean, it was a great ball from the goalkeeper down the middle. There were 3-on-2, Villa. Morgan Rodgers crosses it to Buendia. He tries a real spectacular scissor kick mid-air. I think if he throws his head at that, I think he makes better contact and has a better chance of scoring.
We're going to see another Aston Villa change. Jadon Sancho on another night when he's largely underwhelmed is about to be replaced by Leon Bailey, and Ian Matson is also coming on for the final 7 minutes plus stoppage time. Emi Buendia going off, so that's a defensive change.
It is indeed. I think Unai Emery will recognise that he can get this sorted out. Also a change for Lille. Looks like Haraldsson making way. It was kind of
a bit lightweight for me.
Yeah, but he's kept going, but didn't really figure in the danger zones.
Dia Unai is his replacement, so they've made all their changes now. Lille trailing by a goal to nil, and time running out for the French club to find an equaliser. They will have it all to do in the second leg at Villa Park in a week's time as it stands. Leon Bailey, who spent the first half of the season away on loan, the Jamaican international at Roma, ironically could face his old club in the next round, is on. As Pau Torres looks for Bailey with a long raking ball upfield. Perrault steps in and nods it forward for Lille. And here is Dia Unai down the left-hand side, gets it back from Bouadi. Tried the first-time pass, which is intercepted by Konsa, and Morgan Rodgers now can come over halfway for Villa to Bailey. And Bailey cleaned out by Perrault right in front of the assistant referee. It's an Aston Villa free kick. They'll be in no great hurry to take, Andy.
No, don't have to now. They're high down this right-hand side, almost level with the 18-yard line, but right on the touchline where they've got this free kick. Doesn't need to go in the box. Rodgers and McGinn over it, can keep it, play it short, give it to Leon Bailey maybe, let him just travel and try and draw a foul. Don't have to whip it in.
Lille 0, Aston Villa 1. 85 minutes played. John McGinn stands over the free kick, just in from this right touchline, not too far shy of the 18-yard mark. McGinn puts his right arm in the air and then swirls this in towards the far post. It was a Villa head that made contact. I think it was Konsa, but he was facing the wrong way, and the ball is cleared now to Martinez inside the centre circle, who immediately volleys it and punches it back towards that penalty area. Here's Bouadi for Lille. 15 yards inside his own half of the field. Back to the goalkeeper. And they're in a hurry now, Lille, to try and get this equaliser in the final 5 minutes, but they have the ball well inside their own half of the field.
Yeah, the game very stretched now. They've got 4 or 5 players, Lille, ahead of the ball at all times.
Bouadi looking for Fernandez Pardo. He's got there ahead of Pau Torres, using that lightning speed, the substitute. In comes the cross towards Giroud at the near post, couldn't quite bring the ball under control, and it's hooked away by Luca Digne. Buardi has it back though, over on the right hand side. Plenty of red shirts in the centre if they can get across in here, Lille. Buardi comes infield instead, and then it's going to be played out to the right hand side once more, and Nabil Bentaleb rolls it down that far touchline to Fernandez Pardo. Buardi wants it on the edge of the area. Can he get a shot away? No, he tries to slide it forward into Felix. He's left Pau Torres on his backside, shoots goalwards. Good save by Martinez at the near post, and they smuggle it clear before Giroud could turn in the rebound. The offside flag is up, so I don't think, had he have found the net, Felix, that would have counted.
Yeah, he wriggled through a tiny little gap there, Felix, really well. Let's have a look, see if he is offside.
I think Bogart maybe in the centre could be playing him on.
Could be. But I'll tell you what, from there he did really well to get a shot away that Martinez had to get both hands on, parried it down into a ruck of bodies in front of him. Thankfully it was a white Villa shirt that hooked it away.
Sharp reaction from the Aston Villa goalkeeper, who hasn't been overly tested over the course of the evening, but he had to be at his best there. Might give Lille encouragement that there is still time to get the equaliser. 1-0 Villa lead, and we are edging ever closer to the 90-minute mark here on TalkSport 2. Bentaleb with a back heel away on the edge of his own penalty area. Buardi plays the ball to Perrault. Here is Diaoune now, taking on Bogart, who isn't really a fullback, and he's got a job on his hands to stop the fleet-footed Lille substitute, but he does it well enough, and then Leon Bailey runs the ball out. The ball boy immediately gives a replacement ball to Perrault, and they take the throw quickly, Lille. 88 on the clock, 1-0 Villa lead. Mondi into the centre circle, plays it out to the right-hand side. Clipped forward by Fernandez Pardo, but too far in front of Olivier Giroud, and Martinez lets the ball roll behind, and it will be a goal kick, and he's just saying, I need the ball into feet.
Yeah, Giroud, frustrated there. Just saying, just clip that into my chest rather than trying to clip it over the top of the Villa back line for him to turn and run onto. They've lacked belief, really, the home team.
Right from the off.
With their attacking play. I don't think they've ever really believed that they've got enough to have a real proper go at Villa. When they've done it occasionally, they haven't looked bad, but it's been nowhere near enough. I think Villa have been able to defend largely very, very comfortably.
We had two balls on the pitch momentarily, hence the delay in this goal kick being taken. Not that Martinez is rushing. Takes a big intake of breath, the Argentine World Cup winner, and launches the ball long upfield. Headed down by Bentaleb, but McGinn ratting away in midfield, wins it back for Aston Villa, and then Pau Torres just feeds it back to Martinez and tells him to get it forward, but he goes short to Konsa in the right back position. Forward to Bogart, who was fouled by Fernandez Pardo. Free kick for Villa, just in from the right touchline, and that will take us into the last minute of the 90.
Yeah, Bogart just drawing that foul there. But as ever, Lille finishing the game perhaps as they should have started it, by trying to apply a bit of pressure, by trying to get amongst the Villa players and not allow them to play through the lines quite so comfortably as they have done for most of the game this evening.
Martinez with the ball forward, picked up well by Morgan Rogers, still out there, still beavering away in the final minute of the 90, but he's conceded a foul. Perrault wants to take the free kick quickly. Referee, I think, is just going to halt the restart because Villa are looking to make another change, and it's the lesser spotted Harvey Elliott who is coming on in place of Morgan Rogers. Hasn't got the game time he wanted, Harvey Elliott, in the Premier League in particular, because Villa have an arrangement with Liverpool that he plays 10 Premier League games. They'll have to buy him permanently, and Unai Emery has been quite public that he doesn't plan to do that.
No, which has made it really tough for Harvey Elliott. But again, he gets on now for whatever's left of this, just a few minutes.
5 added on at the end of the game. Lille 0, Aston Villa 1. Villa at the moment on course to put their Premier League troubles and travails behind them with a much needed victory on the road in Europe. Can Lille find an equaliser? Bentaleb in the centre circle. Over the halfway line is Mondi. And a lot of the ball actually, Lille, in the last 7 or 8 minutes.
Yep. And that's because they know needs must and getting a little bit desperate.
And Bemba up from the back and made a forward run there. It's out for a Lille throw midway inside the Villa half. Back to Felix, who had that effort saved by Martinez, but he was probably offside anyway. That's as close as they've come to getting back on level terms. Bentaleb with the ball forward to Giroud. He's penalised for a high foot on the edge of the penalty area. Just caught Lucadinha in the face, and it's a free kick for Villa.
Yeah, Olivier Giroud frustrated there. Lucadinha taking his time to get back up on his feet.
I'm not even sure he made contact.
Doesn't make any contact, he doesn't know. Just hits the floor, holds his face, and you'll find that certainly in Europe referees will just blow and give decisions like that. And we're seeing it a lot in the Premier League too, which again I have a particular difficulty witnessing week in, week out, but that's where we are. That's the modern game for you.
3 minutes to go of stoppage time. Lille 0, Aston Villa 1. Free kick for Lille in their right back position, taken quickly by Bentaleb, but the referee is going to make them retake it because Lucadinha has been booked for the challenge. I think that's the first yellow card of the evening.
Yeah, I'm not sure what for actually. Lucadinha, whether it's something he said, because the challenge on Felix is again negligible contact, but he finds himself in with a card.
So 3 minutes for Villa to hold on, 3 minutes for Lille to find the equaliser. Everybody in white back inside their own half as Lille come forward down their right hand side. Back into Bentaleb inside the centre circle. Are they going to get one big chance at the end of the game, Lille? As we welcome listeners from TalkSport. Aston Villa closing in on a first leg victory here. They lead by a goal to nil. Ollie Watkins with a header early in the second half. Lille have had plenty of possession late in the game, but the Villa defence holding firm.
Yeah, it's been largely comfortable for Villa the whole night, really. They deserve to win the game, and I think had they have really gone for it a little more at times, could have easily have scored again, but they'll settle for this. Lille are quite ordinary and have played, I think, without any real belief.
Leon Bailey in possession for Villa, down by the right corner flag. How ambitious will they be to look for a second goal? Well, Bailey's come into the penalty area, but maybe Unai Emery would have preferred to keep it by that corner flag. They have it now in midfield with their captain McGinn on as a second half sub, ending his injury exile. Here's Lucadinha now on the opposite left hand side. They've got Tammy Abraham waiting in the centre, so too Bailey. This is just what Unai Emery would want his team in possession. A little over a minute of stoppage time to play, leading 1-0 and managing the game well. Onana goes almost in a whole circle there away from Olivier Giroud, the Lille captain, and keeps the ball forward to Harvey Elliott. Misplaced touch from him, and that allows Unai to come forward down the Lille left and win to throw. This might be the last chance of an equaliser. Ball into the penalty area. Fernandez. Pardo goes down under a challenge. Little tussle there with Ezri Konsa. Looks hopefully to the referee, who immediately says no penalty.
Yeah, I think Ezri Konsa actually
is clever.
He's backpedaling, yeah, and Matias Fernandez ends up inadvertently sort of clashing into him. I think Konsa did well there, because just for a moment there was a potential opportunity for Lille. They didn't make enough of it.
Here's Felix down the right hand side for Lille. They've got seconds to go, and Felix has given the ball away to Leon Bailey, and Leon Bailey able to come forward over halfway. Harvey Elliott to his right. Elliott coming infield onto his left foot, looking for support. In the end, just plays it back to the edge of the centre circle, and Onana. Here's Elliott again now. Again, turns back, plays the ball into the centre circle, and there goes the full-time whistle. Well, they may be struggling for wins in the Premier League, but when it comes to this Europa League competition, Villa boss Unai Emery continues to be the past master Ollie Watkins with a much-needed goal early in the second half will give Aston Villa a first leg advantage to take back to Villa Park next week. And Emery's quest for a record-breaking 5th Europa League trophy goes on. They have beaten Lille away from home by a 1-0.
Yeah, and I think they deserve their victory. I don't think this Lille team is strong enough to cope in this sort of company. They had a little bit of a go. They had a little flurry at the end of the first half and at the end of the second period. But pretty much in the middle, it was all Villa. It was just a case of them producing a bit of quality. Ollie Watkins got himself a really good goal out of nothing, really, but it was a very clever header the way he looped it over the goalkeeper. But honestly, I've seen enough tonight to convince me that Lille will have to produce something very different from what we've witnessed here if they're going to worry Aston Villa next week. I think Villa all set to march on.
Scores elsewhere in the Europa League tonight. Bologna 1, Roma 1. Villa will play the winners of that tie, assuming they get through next week against Lille. Panathinaikos 1, Real Betis 0. They're still playing Stuttgart 1, Porto 2. Those two also on Villa's half of the draw in the Conference League. It's finished AZ 1, Sparta Prague 1, Lech Poznan 1, Shakhtar 3. So good win away from home for Shakhtar. Rijeka 1, Gary O'Neill Strasbourg 2, and Samsunspor 1, Rayo Vallecano 3. We're going to be heading to Selhurst Park very shortly for live Conference League commentary. But first, let's pick our man of the match from today's game with Enterprise Rent-A-Car.
The Here For It hero on TalkSport 2 with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever it is, we're here for it.
Andy Townsend, over to you.
Yeah, look, normally in a game like this, when someone gets the winning goal, as Ollie Watkins has done, you would give it to the striker. Tonight, I'm going to give it to Amadou Onana. I thought he was always involved in the middle of the park. I think he broke play up, always again played intelligently, kept it when he had to, and I think he would be the pick of the bunch tonight.
There you go, Amadou Onana back on familiar territory against his home club. That is our man of the match, Here For It hero with Enterprise Rent-A-Car.
The Here For It hero on TalkSport 2 with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Here For It. Book now at enterprise.co.uk.
Well, that's just about all we have time for from Northern France. You've been listening to the Europa League live on TalkSport 2 with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Here For It. Book Europa at enterprise.co.uk. But the perfect start for Villa in this crucial week of the season. They face Manchester United in a huge game in the race for Champions League football in the Premier League on Sunday, and they've warmed up for that trip to Old Trafford with a 1-0 victory away from home. It's finished here, Lille 0, Aston Villa 1. We're off to Selhurst Park next on TalkSport 2.
Online, on DAB+, and on the app.
This is TalkSport 2.
Conference League live on TalkSport 2 with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever it is, we're here for it.
This all-new Nissan Interstar van is a game-changer.
Yep, you get a 5-year warranty, load capacity's impressive, everything fits without playing tall Tetris.
You're right. No more twisting myself into a human pretzel just to grab the drill.
And up to 37.7 miles per gallon from the diesel version. I can take the team to away games.
Yeah, and you get up to 285 miles from the 100% electric all-new Nissan Interstar E.
Sam's got that. Uses it to park without waking the kids. Search Nissan Interstar and visit your local Nissan van centre today. Warranty terms apply. 5 years or 100,000 miles, whichever comes first. Fuel consumption and EV range figures are for comparability purposes and may not reflect real driving results. Visit nissan.co.uk.
Get 3 months half price when you switch to an unlimited SIM with 3. That means quick streaming, faster downloads, and more money to spend on the things you love. Join the UK's fastest 5G network and get your unlimited SIM today. Buy now in store or c3.co.uk.
Unlimited 24-month light plan. Proof of switching required. Based on Ookla speed test intelligence data 2H 2025. All rights reserved. Subject to credit checks and terms.
Steve's storage just isn't keeping up. He's running out of room fast. He needs something smarter and flexible enough to grow with his business. Choose the Big Doug Big Series range. Designed for strength, flexibility, and ready to reconfigure or expand as your business grows. From shelving and workbenches to trolleys, garment rails and racking, the Big Series can handle it all. So what are you waiting for? Time to sort your shelf out. Order today at bigdoug.co.uk.
Who are you going for at the Cheltenham Festival?
The favourite.
The favourite.
The favourite, without a doubt.
This Cheltenham Festival, everyone's going for the free favourite pull-out in the sun. It's jam-packed with top tips and form guides for all the runners and riders. And a free £5 in-shop bet with Coral each day of the festival. Get your copy of The Favourite every day only in the sun. T's and C's apply. 18 plus only. Gambleaware.org.
People at work supported me by not treating me like somebody who was going through treatment. Treatment sucks. Cancer sucks. Being engaged with work really helped to, I just knew I was going to beat this day.
Research shows that what's important for patients' best outcomes is not only the treatment we give, but the ability for them to continue their lives, which often means continuing to work and have purpose for what they're doing.
Learn more and sign the pledge at workingwithcancerpledge.com.
We all love a good meal, but there's no feeling quite like cooking one. Whether it's everyone at yours for a Sunday roast or after-school sausage and mash. Quick, simple, gone in minutes. One thing brings it all together. Ah, Bisto. The original gravy. Rich, smooth, and unmistakable since 1908. When the gravy makes the dish, make the gravy. Ah, Bisto.
Crayola has landed on Planet Happy Meal, so explore your little astronaut's imagination and see where their creativity takes them. From colouring to creating, the sky's the limit. So reach for the stars. Some fun, some food, it's all inside this Happy Meal. Until 23rd of March from 11 a.m. Includes one pre-selected book or toy, whilst Crayola range comprises toys only, while stocks last.
TalkSport 2, official broadcast partner of the Premier League. Kickoff on DAB+, online via the TalkSport app and on your smart speaker.
Kickoff live. There's no other word for football.
Pump it up and stick it in your ear.
Award-winning live football commentary.
Pass, shoot, score.
Football in motion.
Kickoff live
on TalkSport 2.
And good evening from Nigel Adderley and Darren Ambrose live at Selhurst Park. Welcome to Conference League Live here on TalkSport 2. We're in the round of 16. Crystal Palace are the English team left in this competition, and they meet a side they've already lost to here so far this season. AEK Larnaca of Cyprus. They won here on match day 2. They qualified automatically for this stage. Of course, Palace had to go through the playoff against Rimsky Mostar. They came through by 3-1, and now they have the opportunity for both revenge and to give themselves a platform for a place in the quarter-finals before the second leg in Cyprus next Thursday. It is Crystal Palace against AEK Larnaca live on TalkSport 2.
European schedule bursting at the seams tonight on the TalkSport network.
And then Wharton sends Sarr away into the penalty area. Heavy touch, but then he finishes it off the inside of the post and Crystal Palace equalise.
Here is Pino's great run into the area. Right foot shot, that's stunning. That's Jeremy Pino at his best.
I've seen a team with huge resilience, with huge commitment, with great togetherness, and that makes me proud.
You know, it's a new challenge for us to try and play in a different way to win the games. So yeah, it's been enjoyable, and you know, hopefully we can get on top of the challenge that they'll face.
Tino, he just calmly rolls it beyond the goalkeeper. He dived to the right. Mateta tucked it away.
Action-packed European football on TalkSport 2.
Well, it is an extremely wet and windy night here in southeast London. The corner flags have been blowing to 45 degrees during the warm-ups. The wind has been